and welcome to Dungeons and DankMemes, a fantasy role-playing show. My name is Connor Collins, Dungeon Master for the show, and I'll be leading our party through the adventure and peril to be found in the land of Irden. We are playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but be warned, there will be some house rulings. The show is just getting started, and for now we'll be in YouTube and podcast formats with live streaming close on the horizon. You can find more information about the show at DankMemes.com. The link to the site and a bunch of other information can be found in the thingy below the video, or for the podcast, in the episode description. And now to the show. We hope you'll adventure with us. Enjoy. Welcome to Dungeons and DankMemes. We're some nerdy folk here to make jokes, tell a story, have some fun, learn the value of friendship. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna hop right into narrative. Oh, my name. I'm the Dungeon Master. My name is Connor, and we will introduce our players, our characters, in narrative. So, I'm just gonna hop right in. You guys might want to take notes. There's going to be a quiz.
Okay.
I'm not prepared for this. I didn't realize this was going to be school. Oh my gosh.
I said that my phone was funny. I have notes on my phone.
If my pen wasn't broken, that'd be so good.
What phone's come with a pen? That's so
Note
dumb.
8. Yeah, it's better than iPhone.
Alright, we can't afford to alienate the audience.
You're right, okay.
Samsung versus Apple.
I'm so sorry, Apple.
Civil
guys.
War.
I love you.
What were you saying, Connor?
Well, yeah, like 80% is going to be Apple.
So, there's consequences for tangents.
Oh.
Your character will take damage.
It's spontaneously like, ow,
De-inspiration.
what happened?
Okay,
Piano falls from the sky.
narrative time. There are no pianos in my world. Sat back.
What?
I'm quit.
Harpsichords?
Yeah.
Wait, I picked an instrument. It was the piano.
Okay, let's save
Carrying around with
let's save jokes for after we
16
start
strings.
playing D&D.
I chose
here
the
we go.
guitar.
Like, I
No.
would never consider.
Okay. Our story begins in a low place. 5 souls sit in the dark behind thick iron bars in the prisons underneath Northgate Fortress in the city of Lonnath. Low torchlight illuminates the chamber and the compact conditions of their grimy cells. This is no citizens holding prison. These are the dungeons used to hold enemies of the state during wartime. The effects of the putrid air and poor light have diminished their hopes of freedom. But, on the bright side, they've been brought one decent meal a day and have suffered no abuse at the hands of the guards. Their weapons were seized, but they've been allowed to keep all of their other belongings. The guards have mostly ignored their questions, only saying that today is the day that the Lonnath Pimentum will be by to question them and pronounce judgment upon them. But before we continue, let us set some context for the souls this story is set to tell. Irden is a kingdom on the western coast of the land of Irden. Its domain reaches north to the jagged Rimon Mountains, east to the foot of the indomitable solitary Mount Drennan, and south to the ancient Shohorian Wall. Its capital city, Lonnath, is prosperous in all kinds of trades, arts, religion, and most of all, magical and military power. Its wealth and successful civilization has brought flourishing to the region and pushed back much of the wildness of the world into mere rumor and in many cases legend. But in place of the untamed perils of the wildlands, there has come the threats that the civilized world brings, namely war. King Turian Bonearrow, 7th in his line to rule the kingdom since the Bonearrows took it 200 years ago, has ruled with cunning and remains a distant and fearsome figure to the common person. Behind the walls of the citadel, he rules with both the magisterium and the military firmly in his grip. Lonnath has its dark alleys and poor, but compared to what much of the rest of the world has to offer, it is a beacon of light. The Aranai are proud of their kingdom and respect their king, but one of their darker qualities has emerged after recent events. The people of this land are deeply suspicious of outsiders. and many regard foreigners as the seeds of chaos that will grow up into destruction and bring their kingdom to ruin. 2 weeks ago, in the capital city of Lonnath, Aranai soldiers poured out from behind the walls of the citadel. They took control of the city, speaking the king's orders, flashing scrolls with the bone arrow insignia, and announcing that war had been declared against Kotu. The Aranai refer to the people of Kotu as the Northmen. They are commonly considered to be barbaric and cruel. Not many balked at the news, as most knew it was only a matter of time. Too many ships had been sunk, sending Aran citizens to a cold, dark death. Too many northern towns raided and razed to the ground with no survivors. But there were those that resisted the commands of the soldiers. These were immediately accused of treason and thrown into prison. And in true Aranai fashion, any foreigners that so much as looked at the soldiers the wrong way were immediately suspect and detained for questioning. And it is because of these heightened conditions that our characters find themselves trapped and unsure of what fate the day will bring. Now, back down in the dark chamber, 2 voices and their accompanying footfalls echo from the hallway outside the prison door. For just a few moments before the heavy iron bolt lifts and the door swings open. In walk 2 Lonnath city guards, one of them holding what looks to be a potato sack out in front of him, as if scared to get too close to the contents. The sack appears to have some small, angry animal inside of it, as if the guards had caught a feral cat and provoked it into a frenzy. But not a cat. A snarling, squeaking voice, attended by several jerking movements from inside the potato sack, reveal that the creature is something more than a beast. The other guard fumbles with a large keyring and opens an empty cell with it. As the door swings open, he says to the potato sack guard, "Watch your fingers with that one. Thomas had to go to the temple district to get a few of his reattached." Little beast. He walks back down the hall after eyeing the occupants of the other cells. The potato sack guard looks down at the sack, shrugs, and tosses the whole thing in. He quickly shuts and locks the cell door. The creature lets out a high-pitched grunt as the bag hits the cold stone floor and slides to the back of the cell. It continues to scramble, and in a few moments it is able to free itself of its potato sack prison and stand on solid ground again. Emily, please describe your character's appearance.
I'm Vuka. I am a very small goblin, like 3 foot, 40 pounds. She is dirty, doesn't have a ton of hair, sharp, just kind of scraggly teeth. She's kind of in like a weird cloak. She's got a tiger mask around her face, and she's really just beat up and looks like she's been just kind of rolling around in the dirt.
Excellent. The guard stares oddly at the goblin, and then at the space between the bars for a moment. He lifts his fingers as if measuring the bars, and trying to determine if it's small enough for the creature to escape. He nods to himself reassuringly, glances about at each of the other prisoners, then follows the other guard back through the door down the hallway. The door slams, the bolt shuts, and silence settles in the chamber. Vuka takes in the chamber with her glowing red eyes. In the center of the room, there is a large wooden supporting beam. On the beam, 2 burning torches casting dancing orange light onto the stone walls. The chamber has 6 iron-barred prison cells. The cells are fairly small, only large enough to fit a few people in them, packed tightly. She immediately observes that each of the other 5 cells holds a single figure. Blair, please describe your character's appearance.
I am Blair. I play Bernard, a human variant. He is about 13-ish years old, young, pubescent teen. He is a rogue. I don't know if we're saying class or not right now. He's a rogue. Yeah, he's short. I mean, he's probably like 5'9". Yeah, that's about it.
So short. No
So
other
short.
physical
Sorry,
appearance.
that's a jab. Oh, he has bright blue hair, which is at odds with the fact that he is a human. But it doesn't look dyed? I don't know if I should get in that much detail. It doesn't look dyed. No, you can see the roots on the side. It's like... Never mind.
So it looks like a fresh dye.
Guys, I have a lot of experience with dyed hair, okay? I'm just like this hair, okay?
Kind of like your hair is now, right?
Yeah, I did it especially for you guys.
Just like that.
Thank you.
All right, Bree, please describe your character.
Okay, so I'm Bree. I am playing Lil. She's half wood elf rogue as well. She's kind of this gang member or part of one of the gangs of Lonnath, right? That's the name
Yes.
of the city? Okay. They're the Sons of Dismas is the name of the gang.
Me
She's
too. Sorry.
like you're a gang member too?
Yeah.
Oh, are you like a rival gang member?
No, I'm son of Dismas too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do we know each other?
Yeah, do you have the
Wait,
sign?
time
Like
out. Do we
the-
know each other?
Wait, are you really in this?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'll
Do you have a gang sign you guys can flash?
basically.
No, because I feel like Bernard didn't join the gang willingly per se.
Okay.
And he's also quite new.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lil's
I'm a
kind of
boy.
like the main secret gatherer of the
Oh.
gang, so she's probably pretty high up. So you're probably just like,
Underling.
like, oh, this.
Trash.
I'm
Street
rolling
trash.
for crush. Please roll. It's a 12, so yeah, maybe.
You're
I'm 13, so
Will
I pretty
they?
much have a
Will
crush on
they?
everyone.
Yeah, so she is the son of Dismas's. Is that the plural? Dismas? Anyways.
Dismes.
I mean, Dismas is a name.
Dismas.
Anyway, she's their main secret gatherer. Her skills include like climbing, espionage, like getting into people's houses, like finding out all the nice juicy secrets on people, blackmail them later. She's got pretty slight build. I'm gonna say short because like 5'2" height, like actually short, 5'9" short stuff.
I'm short. I'm 5'9".
So like I think 5'2", 5'3" was the height I picked for her. Just brown hair, so it just doesn't stand out, But
Don't know what that's like.
yeah, that's about it, I suppose.
Cool. Devin, please describe your character.
Hello, I am Devin. I am playing Teran. He is an Earth Genasi barbarian. He is 6 feet tall.
Super short.
Yeah.
A short
So short.
6 feet.
Yeah. So he has as an Earth Genasi, they're essentially elemental humans. He has skin that looks like sand that's flowing around. His chest is like sandstone that's cracked with gnarled roots growing in between the cracks. He's got amber eyes that look like stones. His hair is like mud tracks that your fingers have gone through, and he's got a big rock that's stuck in the back of his head here that looks like it would be tied up. Stocky build, large, broad shoulders.
Wait, is that called a top rock?
It would be called a top rock.
Nice.
It can't quite be tied into a knot because it is stone, but yeah, top rock for sure.
It's already in the right
Is it like
shape.
literally part of your head, or like you could change it out for like?
No, it's literally part of.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't change that. Can't ever get a haircut.
Question: are Genasi are we like? Oh, hey,
I'll,
just a Genasi.
I'll say a few notes about
Okay.
rarity and how common different races are once we get to the end of these introductions.
That's pretty much all I have to say about physical appearance.
Cool. Chase.
Alright, so my character is Esteban. He currently has no hair on his body anywhere. Maybe like a little bit of like it's growing back, and so his eyebrows are like
Hey, I'm triggered.
little tiny. Like he doesn't even have eyebrows. He doesn't.
Oh.
It's gone. He had no body hair at all. Just like little tiny pricks. Maybe it's growing back a little bit.
He's a swimmer.
He's fairly average looking in appearance.
Except for the no hair and
Except for the no hair on his body.
That's how I think of average. Like,
That's base.
Man,
Everybody's
it's all
base.
looking up
That's
here, guys.
screen one in character creation, you know? It's,
Yeah, literally, that's him. So he's about like 5'8", brown eyes, brown hair, human. His clothes are singed. They're a little damaged, but they are nice clothes. So there's definitely some like gold embroidery left on his vest.
Like old damaged or
Scorched damaged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have hair.
Maybe. I
got it.
don't know. I didn't think about that. That's a really good. No.
So like he was
No,
running a
I've
meth
seen
lab
it.
that blew up.
That's where I draw the line. As a goblin, I draw the line there.
No, that's just
Yeah, that's the honest way it looks like.
Cool. And that brings us to David.
Yep, I'm David. I am playing Krulash Mandaric, or Lash. He is a 6'5" dragon man. So
short 6'5".
yeah, minuscule really. He didn't make the basketball team at Dragonborn High.
Dragonborn High. I love this. The race high. Welcome to
Yeah.
Human High.
Yeah. That's how it works, man. He is sort of like muddy, brownish, slightly copper-toned, scaly man, 6'5", pretty big and burly. He has chainmail on with a tabard over the top of it with the image of like a stylized axe on the chest. And he is wearing a pith helmet, like for safari, and a monocle.
Wait, it's like a safari hat with a monocle?
Yep.
Nice.
A dragon with a safari hat.
Yes.
Okay.
Look at the
So,
humans today.
so all of you would know, and some of you would have had some time to observe some of the other members of this particular prison chamber. But you all know that humans are basically 99% of the population of this particular region of the world. Halflings exist and are common in more farm-oriented communities. There are traveling dwarves that come through. Some have dwelt in cities, but there are very few dwarves and halflings, and elves are extremely rare. Half-elves more common, but for elves to take up residence in this region of the world, like you wouldn't know where to find elves if you tried to go find where they were living. That being said, goblins are also quite rare to be found in civilization, at least. Out in the wildlands, or there are stories of goblins out in the wildlands, far from civilization, but no one has really seen one. Like, you tell stories about these creatures, but they're far from your everyday. So for anyone to see a goblin is going to be quite shocking, actually. Though they're about the right size to try to pass themselves off as a halfling or even a gnome, which gnomes are quite rare as well. For an Earth Genasi, at first glance from a distance, you might not notice like that an Earth Genasi isn't human. But once you get close, it's going to be very shocking for the average citizen of the region. They're not going to know what to do with you, as you will likely soon find out. And
What happens if you get wet?
Did you say what race Esteban was? He's human.
Don't remember.
There you go.
And probably by far the most shocking appearance will be the one of the Dragon Man. Literally nobody in Auran has seen one of these. Nobody. There are none living in Auran.
Do we know they exist, or
They wouldn't even know they exist. They wouldn't know what it was.
Hmm.
They'd say, that looks like a lizard that's standing upright and shaped like a man.
not wrong?
Right. But they wouldn't...
So far, so good.
On board. Got it.
Like, only the most far-traveling person may have heard of one and very rarely would have seen one.
Okay.
But the people of Auran don't often travel. They're not keen on foreigners and those that associate with foreigners. So that's a little bit about what you might expect in terms of reception from those who live in the area, which is why you are likely in prison for those of you that are different.
We got 3 normies and 3 knots.
Yeah.
She's only half normie.
I have blue hair.
I mean, all it takes for her though is a hat, really.
And for him.
Yeah.
So, you guys find yourselves in a seemingly well-secured prison chamber. What do
They
you
took
think?
our weapons, but
They
we
took
have
weapons.
everything else?
Do we have our gold?
Yes, they left you. You aren't like.
That's a nice prison.
I know, right?
Keep
It's like
going.
white collar
They're,
crime.
they're
Man, like
xenophobic,
a
but I mean, like, they're not
TV.
unreasonable.
People-
Yeah.
You weren't condemned yet.
Extremely
Like,
racist, but
anything that looks like it might be
uncivilized.
dangerous to the guards that are looking over you might have been taken.
would they have taken my lockpicks out of my mouth?
No.
Excellent. I try to pick a lock.
Wow, just.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't say anything to anybody. I just
Okay. So wait, you're telling me you had lockpicks in your mouth?
I keep
The entire time.
I keep all-
And it's not until they deliver.
Yeah, I had a skeleton key.
to say-
Right in my
And that's where
pocket.
I drop one. Goblin, I'm out.
You know.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. They would have.
Yeah. There's no way those are in my
Wait,
mouth.
no, you've never seen
They
Con
would have done a
Like-
full body search. Like.
Come on.
Oh.
All cavities.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then Bernard, are we all
Is it
in
wrong to be excited?
joint cells? Are we in our
all
own
in
cells?
individual cells.
But we like share like bar.
There's a central hallway
Yep.
that to access all of the doors, and then at the end of the hallway is just the wall, and then on each side there are 3 cells.
Kinda
So are we in,
how we're
like-
sitting right
these
now.
the cells we're in basically is how we're sitting?
Yep.
Cool.
I get as far away from Vuka as like I'm in the back corner of just from everybody, and I'm not saying anything. I have my hood up. And I'm just in the corner.
Yeah, Lash is whistling a happy tune.
Please whistle it.
Luca's gonna try and see if she can fit through the bars.
Okay. Yeah, you walk up to the bars, and what body part do you try to fit through?
Her
first?
head just
Yeah.
immediately
You're-
goes.
It's kind of one of those like, and then you kind of like try to turn it, and then every angle you try to get through. Go ahead and make me a dex check.
What's her head shaped like? Is it a football?
I picture Dobby.
Yes.
Dobby. Okay.
I was-
Okay.
Is
Honestly,
pretty-
the picture in my head though is like when a dog gets its
Football
head
is not
stuck
wrong.
in.
Okay,
There's
so like,
a
yeah, like
photo
football.
Like a
in some
banister.
sense. Got it. Big old mouth.
Like hang on.
Upside
Ooh,
down.
nice.
Don't want to say.
So difficult.
This is just a regular.
14.
Yeah, you don't. You get the sense like if you try too hard, if you put too much effort behind it, you're gonna get stuck. But
I really want that. Help!
but what that means is that you could potentially slip through with the right amount of force, but you're not sure how much damage that might do to you. But your
You
head,
break your
head
skull.
could get lodged in there. It's not as if like
Just
Yeah.
tears
you're
off the
stopping
sides of
here.
your
Are
face.
goblins like rats, where if they head gets through, the rest of their body gets through, or because it looks like they have
The biggest part of her is her
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
head.
gonna say like a head looks like
Yeah.
2 to 3 times wider than the body.
Do I know her? Or know of
Um,
her? Know who she is? How about that? Do I know who she
Yeah.
is?
You would have heard the name,
Okay.
But maybe not by
her
appearance.
her gang name. But you don't know that
I
that's.
didn't realize we had gang names.
Well,
Apparently I'm bottom rung. Dang.
okay, so he wouldn't just recognize me by seeing me,
Correct.
and I probably don't know him because.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
definitely
Like that would make sense. You would have no idea.
Do we have like a symbol, like? You know how like inside, like every gang member has this
Yeah.
tattoo, or like no, not like a sign, but like
Just a tattoo.
Step like a dance
A
off.
sigil or something.
Can anyone actually do the blood sign? Because I've never understood how that works. I'm just like,
It's like something. I don't care.
Let's maybe not flash video game signs.
because I didn't like because when I thought of the name, I didn't like put any thought into like, oh yeah, I wear this thing so other members know, because I didn't think.
Okay.
someone
Yeah.
else
So
would
there
wear
is a gang sign.
Do I know it?
I feel like
new?
Bernard totally
It
would
is
not
Both of
know
you
it.
know it,
Oh, okay.
and I want you to make it right now.
Or no.
Ready? 1.
You don't-
Wait, it's a
you can
sign?
actually come up with it right now,
Oh.
but you have very little.
So
time to do
you
it.
know Thieves' Cant because you're a rogue,
Yeah.
right? So Thieves' Cant is like a combination of like sign language and whatnot to communicate to
Right,
different
right,
people.
yeah.
So I feel like our symbol would be something where like you could flash it without anybody else knowing instead of
But why would I? We're just gonna randomly like.
You have to like hand hug.
Flashes.
There we go. We don't know if we're the same guy. We're just like reaching across the forest.
Anybody?
I'm gonna say that it's not the hand hug.
Do we have to think of it right now?
Yes.
Oh man.
So one of us just decides
I would
on-
say it would be like maybe the symbol for sun in Thieves' Camp. I don't know what that is, but like the symbol for like we communicate like suns or something like that in Thieves' Camp would be the symbol, right?
It's just jazz hands, okay? That's what it is.
The most feared gang in Lonnath.
Do we
You made
have,
us
like-
choose. This is your fault.
Do we have like a piece of clothing we would all wear, or like a tattoo we'd all wear? Just to, like you would see it first and then do the sign? Because I'm just wondering why we would
Just
just
like
be
do like
Just
one
like
of the
random
like
people doing
catcher
jazz hands.
signs, you know, like the like mound communication or whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Baseball.
Slice
Yeah.
the pie.
Okay.
Yeah, you're giving.
So only thing,
If I touch the belt, it cancels the sign that came before.
there may be like physical signs of gang membership, but for now, you don't have any of those on you.
I was gonna say I
And-
don't think
Yeah,
I
because
would
you
be-
wouldn't want to get caught. With
Yeah, I
something
don't think I
like
was
that.
wearing mine or my
Right.
special.
So all you will be able to do at this point is like some sort
Maybe it's
of
just like a D for
physical
Demas.
symbol.
That's backwards for you. Like a D for Demas or something like that, right? Like the Sons of
that
Demas.
works. If we
With
can
like
make
a-
something cooler later.
Yeah.
And
There
then,
it is.
like,
Okay, for
retcon
now,
it.
that's what
The
it
D
is.
for Demas. Okay.
Okay.
We can retcon
Like
that.
a
Sure.
sick.
Cool. So you guys now have that information. Whether or not you use it, it's up to you.
Well, you're sitting in the corner,
Yeah, like,
not
I'm-
looking at anyone.
Yeah, no, I'm like far away from her and trying to hide from everyone. I recognize her, like I see her, but I wouldn't do anything, at least right now.
Same.
Yeah.
Nothing. How long?
I just
have
wanted
we-
to know, 'cause
How
I
long
would-
have we been here?
So most of
Besides
you
her.
have been here for just a couple days.
Just.
So it hasn't been very long, but long enough to where it's wearing on you, and they don't take you for bathroom breaks. So it's not.
Do we have chamber pods?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a real pleasant sort of situation for any of you, but you guys aren't like wanting death. You haven't been here that long, and you have been told that there is a judge coming. The Pimentum is those of you who have been in Irden at any time at all know that these are the supreme judges that basically, especially in wartime, travel the land. And when it's inefficient to do due process of law, they execute judgment based on that's the authority they have. So they will hear cases and assess the information they can gather, and then they'll just make a judgment for efficiency's sake.
Okay, so knowing that, Bernard wants to get the F out of here. So yeah, I would see your roguish figure knowing who you are and try at a certain point waiting until nobody else is paying attention and flash you the Sons of Demas
Okay.
sign. Not that it can
While
do us any
Luca tries
good.
to fit her head through the bars.
Yeah. Well, everyone's watching the goblin do. Yeah. Can you make the Vuka noises go through the bar, please?
So like we're all kind of like looking at her, and then I like
Yeah,
notice
I
you.
flash the Sons of Demas sign.
Does anyone have any oil
No.
or butter?
Keep doing that, you're gonna get your head stuck.
That's maybe better.
Okay, so while you're doing that, so like I notice you,
Yeah.
and like flash it back.
Do you?
I'm like, okay.
Neither of us have lockpicking tools on us. I'm assuming they took that.
Nope.
Yeah.
those have been
And I'm
taken.
guessing we have all checked the bars.
Do I have my painter's supplies?
You know, paint a tunnel on the wall like Wile E. Coyote.
No, she has oil.
Wait, does that how these
paints.
work?
They've taken any
Some kind of
vials
spell?
of liquid you would have had, but they would have left you with your paintbrush.
All right.
I have a
I
candle.
mean, if you're that desperate.
I start digging a hole with a paintbrush.
The end of my paintbrush. Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, I'm
style.
covering it with a Farrah Fawcett poster, so it's fine.
Connor, did they take my crowbar?
Surprisingly, no.
Take my crowbar?
How
No,
would
they
she not
definitely
tell?
Let's see.
Go through
This
your
is
back.
not a
I
weapon.
forgot
My
about this.
crowbar.
You're just like,
Don't
this-
take
this
an old
is
man's
my-
walking stick.
I've been sitting here for 3 days. What else do I have?
No, you do not have
Oh, I have a lantern. They probably took my lantern.
it. They took the oil, but they left you with the lantern.
This is very
Use of
inconvenient.
flesh arts.
Did they take my
That's a
extra oil
shame.
flask?
they weren't thinking like long-term confiscate everything prison. This is more like take obviously dangerous items for holding until we can figure out what to do with these people.
All right.
Do any of us kind of know where we're going to fall on this? I'm assuming the thief knows where he's going to fall on the side of the law.
So all of you have the conditions by which you came into prison, have recently learned those conditions. So some of you may be more hopeful or less hopeful based on those conditions. Especially for foreigners, you may have got the sense that, or people that aren't human, may get the sense that judgment may fall harsh upon you. You know that the law folk don't take kindly to gangs. So if your activity was associated with a gang, you're pretty certain that judgment will fall heavy on you as well.
Okay. So Bernard tries to get your attention again, and he just these cants the symbol escape question as a question. Escape question mark?
Like, yeah.
Duh, you idiot.
Like, you got any ideas?
I symbol back orders. Question.
Like orders from.
Like you're my boss technically.
I don't know if I'm your boss.
Okay.
But Bernard knows that he's like the lowest ranking gang
I'm
member.
also 13 years old.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the default.
It would be legitimate for Bernard to think that any
Right.
other person in the gang is his superior.
Yeah.
Because there's no one else.
He's the intern.
Ooh.
So we have all our stuff taken away. I'm
Anything
guessing
that-
these like two strong men here can't pry the bars off.
I haven't tried. I'm thoroughly convinced this is all a misunderstanding and it's going to blow over.
Okay, you haven't tried. Have you tried?
I have not tried.
Luke's gonna try.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll this one.
So you're in the cell next to me. I turn to you and I can
6
ask.
minus 1, 5.
I'm guessing you're pretty strong
Yeah,
like an Earth dude.
you get the sense like if you try any harder, you're gonna pull a muscle or something.
Do the hinges of the hinges of the doors look like we could Pirates of the Caribbean this shit and like lift them up or are they?
You talking about leverage?
It's pronounced leverage, but yes.
Not an hour.
Yes, can we leverage the laboratory
It's a
doors?
Leave.
Oh,
Are they made of aluminium?
the aluminium bars.
Yeah.
So I turn to you and I ask you if you think you could get these, like if you could move the bars or like pry the door up or anything like that. Like how strong are you?
Do you think that they put me in here if they didn't think they could keep me in here?
I don't know. They don't seem to.
That sounds like a veiled threat.
Oh wait, I also have another question.
I'll fight you.
I'd like to see you try.
Are the
man.
guards like currently watching us, or do they
You're
leave?
alone.
That's
with
fair.
They left.
Is there a chamber pot in my
Yep.
area? Is there anything in it?
I've been peeing in her chamber pot. Like, I've been trying to arc it from my cell. I was gonna say that earlier. I've been arcing it from my cell and trying to get it into her chamber pot.
You gotta roll dex for
Not when I-
that. That's not.
Not
Yeah,
the
that's
other
not,
end,
you're
but like,
14, that's not an easy shot.
do I need to roll dex to see how well I
Oh my
pee in her
God.
chamber? I'll
You're
pee.
gonna roll sleight of hand to see how full her chamber pot is.
Sleight of hand. I can do that. Oh, ooh, that's a fat 8.
You notice that there's a little bit of liquid in there, but mostly it's just a little damp around the pot.
Guys, nope.
Does it
Taking
smell-
the high ground on that joke.
Does it smell like Mountain Dew?
Are there bars between us?
There are.
Oh, so it's not a wall between us.
Correct.
So I could theoretically see straight through.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You can
Just
you
all
can-
bars
you
everywhere.
can all see each other through bars.
Okay, she's gonna pick it up and tip it over her head, and nothing's gonna come out. And she's gonna be bummed.
There's a little bit of liquid.
Yeah, not enough. Does yours have anything more?
Oh.
No. I want to encourage everyone.
Mine has
Please,
some more.
just-
mine.
Just let justice take its course. I'm sure the magistrates will be with us momentarily.
No, they're gonna fucking kill us, man.
No, yeah. Ask him.
I mean, I'm for sure dead. Can you get out of here if I give you my poop?
I think yes.
Okay, here's my poop.
She's gonna cover herself
Oh, wow.
in it,
Oh boy.
and now trying to slip through the.
That happened very fast.
Okay, we're doing it.
Is this a fetish? Like, what is this?
It is now. Didn't know it till this moment.
Okay,
Goblins
so
and poop.
She's not an inside goblin.
So
Oh, boy.
go ahead and roll your poop check.
Against
What's your poop modifier?
It's
Is
just-
that Constitution?
now you just roll me a dex check at advantage.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Okay. Okay. 17.
Okay. I would like you. Okay, so you begin to like eke your way through the bars, and you can feel a little more slide as you now have.
That's a great mental picture.
Wow.
You have a
I don't
little
like this at all.
assistance. I need you to make a dex saving throw.
Ooh.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to slide, and you kind of like feel a bit of give at one of the angles of your head, which is oddly shaped, and you slip right through and fall outside of the cell.
Thank you for your poop.
Anytime. This is weird.
Okay, goodbye.
I feel like Esteban would be like, guards, someone is trying to
I
escape.
like reach to the bar and just like shut him up.
Yeah.
Wait, is our stuff like? Is it the classic where like all of our stuff is hanging on pegs down at the end of the thing, or it's all?
You
gone?
don't see
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's
Sorry, go ahead.
As
I
far
didn't
as
interrupt.
you remember, depending on how you were brought into the cell, your stuff is several hallways away.
Okay. Continue
Let's go.
effing us. please.
Sorry.
I walk into the bar. It's like, no, shut up.
Can I reach Chase? Or am I too far?
Too far.
You have to like
Alright,
reach to my entire
no, I didn't know if I
arm
was-
then, right?
No, there's no call for that. Honor among thieves and such.
I'm not a thief.
Nor am I, believe me, but we're all in this together and so forth. Step off a lip.
I'm not with them. I don't know.
Are
What are you?
Are you new here?
Oh,
They'll kill you.
the name's Krulash Menderick, old boy, but everyone calls me Lash if we're chums, and I do hope that we'll all be chums.
You are the biggest goblin I've ever seen.
Not a goblin, dearie, but thank you.
At least 1 foot bigger than me. And very tall.
You're not wrong. So,
Hey, Goblin Girl, can you get us the rest of us out of here?
You can use the rest of your poop.
You used like pretty much all of it.
Can he borrow yours?
I'm afraid,
I'm allergic to lizard man poop.
I've been a bit backed up the last few days. Not much fiber in this diet.
That was more info that I needed to know.
Oh, I do apologize.
Thank you.
You hear footsteps just outside the door, and then shut up! And then the footsteps keep going.
Okay, sorry for bothering you.
how sneaky are
Under his
you?
breath, Bernard goes, "That's not what your mama said."
You know his mom?
You didn't hear it.
Biblically,
And
is there a this word in this world?
There,
Have you ever heard of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
there are holy texts.
Yeah.
I was gonna say our
Jesus
gang name
is
is
not
technically it's like a road thing.
Does everyone have a moment to hear about the word of our Lord and Savior Manroth? He's my god.
Okay, first though, Goblin Girl, how sneaky are you?
I'm the most sneaky.
Perfect. Do you think that you can go get some keys off some guards, or something that we could pick the locks with and get back here without being seen?
You want me to take their keys from them
Yes.
and not just go?
Yeah, come back here.
I did give you my poop.
That is
I feel like
I must repay you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes.
That's fair.
At least me.
That's
And
fair.
her, she's cool.
Okay. Is she his friend's mom? Is she your mom?
Maternal figure
No.
is more appropriate, I would think.
Okay.
I'm getting a lot of weird feelings on the inside now.
All
I
right.
don't like this.
I guess I can go and try and steal some keys from a guard.
Oh boy.
This is gonna end well.
Okay. So you're gonna try the door?
Sure.
Okay.
Or should we search the room?
You go up to the door, and the noise you heard before, as the guards were leaving, was there's a bolt that's on the other side of the door, keeping it closed from that side. And so when you pull on the latch, it just doesn't move at all.
I think maybe they locked the door in this prison for like extra security. Which makes sense.
Does make sense. Seems a little redundant, but
Do you have any of you have the keys to this door?
No. No, I don't.
Just checking.
Can we check what else is in the room?
Sure, roll me a perception check.
With the 20?
Yeah, so a d20 and add your perception modifier.
first D&D roll, no
Is that on
pressure.
this one?
There you go, yeah.
Don't mess up. Oh, you messed up.
That technique was all off.
16.
He didn't really
Hey.
do 12, so you're off to a good start.
That's true.
16.
Yeah, so you know a fair bit about locks. You know the kind of key that you would look for. These are basic skeleton keys. They get the sense you're not going to be duplicating keys, or they will have taken your tools. So these aren't elaborate keys. They're pretty simple, but not something you could get done with your hands. But you do feel like if you had like lock picks, you could open some of these locks. Other than that, there's a basic stone floor. It's quite dirty in there. There are 2 torches burning on the central post on like steel clasps. The 2 torches are like leaning out away from that central post. There are no windows. The ceiling is about 6 feet tall, so it's actually rather low for a room.
It's short.
Short room.
It's a short room.
It's low for a room, guys.
It's a short room. Got it.
Room.
Room meant for short people.
Yeah, but no windows. There's no grates.
No great. And just the one door, which is
Just
bolted.
the one door.
And the torches.
And it's
And the
it's
torches.
it's a heavy door. It's made of wood, but it's heavy and it's like lined with steel straps, as if reinforced.
I feel like we're pretty fucked until that guy gets here. Except for Poop Girl.
I can't really go anywhere else now, so
Please don't come in my cell.
but you are my friends now.
Like long distance relationship.
It's like in goblin
Acquaintance.
culture. That's something.
It's snuggle time.
There's not.
Like when you share poop.
Bond for life.
Wait, did we just get married?
You don't know. I suppose only Vuka knows.
I'll stay out here for your safety.
Thanks.
We don't have any of the things that we need anyway. Maybe we could burn the door down. We could set it on fire and wait for it to burn down.
That is an option.
I don't think anyone would notice that this door was burning on fire.
If we light the place on fire, we're trapped inside cells.
Well,
It's a
you're trapped
stone
inside
prison,
a cell.
though, right?
Yes,
You're trapped inside the room on fire.
yes. Oh, I see now. I understand now. Yes. We will wait for them to come back, and then I will attack them.
You do that. Hey, you. What are you, man?
Lash,
That doesn't answer my question.
I'm not sure I understand.
What species?
Yeah, that.
Race.
Race.
What species?
Where
are
do you hail from?
Oh, Mandevolo. Do you know it? It's a lovely country.
Do I know it?
Sure.
Yeah, dude.
Nobody here knows.
Yeah, no, you
No,
don't
we
know.
don't know it.
What do you eat to make you so tall?
Oh, I'm very fond of pork.
I like that too. I eat
Okay.
pork. How much?
Good
How
talk,
much?
man. We gotta get out of here.
By
Right.
pork, do you mean actual pig, or do you mean human?
I like that too.
I did not know that human meat is called pork. Is that common here?
didn't
It's different. Human meat is more like beef or rabbit, but it's not like pork.
So you have familiarity
Look
with
like
humans.
If we were to apply heat, they would break.
The rocks?
The locks.
What are the locks?
Let's melt the stones.
burn the rocks.
You know how rocks are made, but
So you're asking if you
How
heat up
tough are
the
these locks? How
locks?
tough are these locks? Like,
Are you asking me to tell you like how much heat to apply to
no,
break
I
it
don't
yourself?
know.
How
What
much?
is the chemical?
How much HP do these locks have, and are they fire resistant
Let me pull out the creature card for this one
for
and
locks?
give you all the stats.
Just some iron.
How
What's
tough
its
does
dex
my
save?
chamber pot? Is it like a metal chamber pot?
It is.
Stone?
It's
Or
iron.
metal? Okay, so
I don't think that you will fit through the bars like I did.
I agree. I don't. I'm too short. I think.
oh, I get it. In this world, they're flipped.
Yeah.
Oh, get it? Short means
That's
tall.
gonna
get
tall.
confusing.
Okay, yeah,
Yep,
that's gonna be
very.
real rough. Got it.
It's
Okay, go
canon
ahead.
now, though. We're good. Maybe you should try to burn the lock. I'll try to break it with my chamber pot.
Okay, but maybe put the stuff that's in the chamber pot somewhere else so
It's
that
just sand. We're good.
can I see it?
It's like, it looks like kitty litter.
That's personal. And now I'm confused because your skin is made of sand. So
Keep thinking. Keep thinking.
How do you
now
smell?
It hurts. Now it hurts. I can't.
Do you eat?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are really racist.
It's our first time seeing different people. Wait, okay, time out. It's my first time seeing a Dragonborn, Goblin, and Genasi, right? Like I've
Yep.
never seen these before. Yeah.
Have I seen a goblin before at least?
It kind of depends a little bit on your backstory, which you can basically decide this. How much time would you have spent far away from Lonnath, or have you spent most of your time close to Lonnath?
I was thinking most of my time in Lonnath.
Yep.
But like the
You-
city areas and
Yeah, there are no goblins
Okay,
in
no
the city.
I'm not
and-
from here.
I know. Okay.
Shocking. I never would have known
Is
that.
this your house?
It is now. Till we're dead in like 2 days.
Thank you for giving me a place to stay.
I also gave you my poop.
We are best friends.
I love that.
You two are fucking weird.
I ship it. I don't know.
You have
Okay,
a
well,
Can I use the metal that the torches are being hung on with to pick the locks so that I can
You can't
break
reach
it?
them from your cell.
Well, can she reach them?
You can ask
I
her
am
if you
3
want.
feet tall.
Wait.
Where are you?
how tall are you?
How good's your vertical leap?
What's your vert, dog?
You do see that
You been hitting them squats?
these are like iron or steel hinges that
Beating
are
my
holding
legs.
them, and they're bolted into this,
Okay,
so probably not.
this wood. So you get the sense you could probably rip them off with enough force, but maybe a 3 foot tall.
You look like a
goblin
toddler wearing
might
big
not
fuzzy
be able to.
slippers.
Okay. So maybe someone like Lash, if he wants to try to break down his door.
No, not really. He's perfectly content. He believes that this will resolve itself in his favor.
You're a smart dragon.
You're not from here, are you?
No, as I mentioned, I'm from Mandevolo.
Yeah, okay, so
It's
We're
a
all
bit
going
to
if
the
you
south.
find yourself in one of these...
We're all going to die.
Yeah, that one.
Oh,
If you find yourself in this little area, you're done fucked, friend.
there's no
Saw
need for
that
that kind of
movie.
language, young man.
You're not my dad. First one, someone keep track of that.
I suppose that's true.
I mean,
But
are you my dad?
I don't believe so.
Okay, good. You're not my dad. Listen, friend, if you find yourself in here, we're all gonna die. That's how this ends. We're all dead. That guy, especially in war, he's gonna come in here. He's gonna like browse our paperwork, and then they're gonna kill us all one by one. Maybe all at the same time, if we're lucky.
Probably him.
That would be
Well, I'm only here to
All right,
misunderstand.
just for fun, not saying we're gonna do anything about it.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to look at the lock on my cell. Investigation.
The precursor has me very confused,
Which-
and I love it.
Is I have 0 to this, so let's find out. I roll a 9 to look at this lock.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably never been in a prison,
correct?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a standard gate lock that you might have seen back home. Maybe you might get the sense that it was not very good workmanship compared to some of the stuff you've seen back home.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it just looks like a
And
simple lock.
it's solid, like wrought iron.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right there.
Hey, bald boy, what can you do?
No, don't look at me. I'm here by misunderstanding, and as long as you sort it out as soon as the person comes, it's gonna be fine. So I'm not associated with you.
Do you look royal? Do you look like noble born?
My clothes are nice but burned.
Like nice, like merchant nice,
Merchant
like
nice.
Okay.
Almost merchant nice.
So, like Gucci.
So what's the...
I'm
Ross
definitely
Prada.
wearing Prada, but I don't have any like insignia.
Yeah, no, that's tacky.
Yeah,
And,
not
no.
not the.
What's Prada?
logos.
How confident are you that they are going to
I am
admit
quite
that-
confident this
Oh,
is
that's-
all a misunderstanding.
that they're going to admit that they're wrong and then
Yes,
oh.
I didn't do anything,
That's
and
the
I
same
shouldn't
as
be
me.
here.
All I bit off was
I
2
just need
fingers, and I
to-
didn't even keep them.
Did you eat them?
No, they wouldn't let me. They took them from me right away. So I don't
You
understand
didn't
what
get
the
to
problem
keep
is.
them.
Yeah.
Saying.
Why would hungry, and then now I'm
That's
still
normal.
hungry.
Normally, why you bite stuff? Yeah.
I'd have done the same thing.
So it's
Why
a
am I on this side of the cell blocks? I should be on that side of the cell blocks with them, please.
Did you bite someone to be here?
No,
Okay.
I was caught robbing people like that.
Did he rob
Bald
you?
people?
Is that what happened to your hair?
I've been trying to steal hair because I hate my blue hair. I've been trying to replace it.
That is mean. Look how cold he is.
No, he did not rob me.
Not steal his
Yeah,
hair.
one of the items in your inventory just says bag of hair.
That hair, I went to the popcorn bag. Dang it.
I say we light the door on fire.
Everybody roll a perception for me.
You're like, you guys
If you're
are...
proficient, which I assume
Oh.
most of you are.
17.
Ooh,
I don't
5.
18.
Okay, if you rolled above a 15, you hear
Well, I rolled a 16 earlier.
for
Oh, this
perception-
is for a new thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it won't carry over. Sometimes, like, your rolls may go for longer periods of time,
Okay,
but
okay.
I will kind of determine when it's time for a new roll to determine. for
I
a
thought
new
we were gonna like
circumstance.
notice something about the prison, but I
Something new.
something new. Okay, I rolled a 1.
This is the part where we all die. Thanks for playing, everyone. You're dead.
Yeah, I mean, you guys failed.
Yeah, obviously,
This is an escape room.
we failed to
Guys
solve
didn't
your
escape.
jail puzzle.
Yeah, my jail puzzle is no, those of you who rolled above a 15, you hear a few steps, a few sets of footsteps coming down the hallway, and you have just a few moments to respond if you will do anything.
I slink into the corner.
I'm
Shut
gonna
up.
run to the door and press myself on the side of the door where it opens.
Okay.
Sort of straighten out my clothes, make myself presentable.
I go to like smooth my hair.
Hey, did all of y'all hear this? Or just the people? Y'all
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I,
I
didn't
mean,
hear
you
it.
could, if you see
Yeah,
me
no.
run,
I'm
You
just-
didn't hear shit.
I just go back to whistling.
Yeah. I don't say anything. I don't alarm anyone. I see the recognition of Vuka, and I kind of just like try to become one with the shadow. I don't, but I try.
Okay. Those of you trying to act inconspicuous or slink into the shadows, roll me a stealth check.
do I need to roll a stealth check?
Ooh.
Are you trying? Oh, yeah. Roll me a
Yeah,
stealth
okay.
check.
24?
Wow.
What's up?
18.
I'm good at stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you hear a similar noise to when the guards left, as if the bar is being lifted up off of the hinges on the door that hold it shut, and it kind of falls off to the side, and there's a bit of clattering. One of the guards is like, "Oh, sorry." The door opens, and one of the guards is one of the same guards that you saw from before, holding the key ring. He's the one who likely is going to open the cells, if any of them need opening. and there's a new guard on the other side of him, and there's a figure in between. She is dressed elaborately, decked out in heavy armor, and there are like blue pieces of silk fabric interlaced, and on the center of her breastplate, so this is like plate armor, it's etched in, carved in, there is the symbol of Lonnath, of Arden, of the entire region, but specifically for Arden military or Arden state workers or government workers. And it is a mountain with an owl above it, flying over it, its wings kind of as if it were like on the down part of its wing flap. I don't know the word for that.
Sure.
And as if it also seems to be cradling that mountain or just like holding it with its wings. She is clean, seems to be like really well put together, and she's got a seriousness in her eyes, like she means business. And she's also holding a scroll.
A squirrel?
Scroll.
Oh,
Big ass squirrel.
Yeah, there's a big squirrel.
It's a dire squirrel. We're actually the way they determine guilt is you know trial by combat, but it's a dire squirrel.
No, when you're level 1, the big bad is giant. And then, but she also has a rather large shield on her back and a sword at her side, as if she's not just like there in decorative gear. Like she probably knows how to fight. And she walks into the chamber flanked by these 2 guards. Each of them have crossbows loaded and ready, and she just begins to look around. She notices almost immediately that one of the cells is empty, pulls out her scroll. She's like, one of the prisoners is missing. The guards like, kind of like are like, oh shit, like they're in trouble. And they begin to look around.
Did they leave the door open?
The door is open.
I'm gonna slip out the door.
Okay. So the door has opened and you're like in between the door and Lash's cell. So in order to slip out, you're going along the doorway, like along the door, and then like right by the heels of these folks. So you're gonna make that move.
Ma'am! Ma'am!
She's looking at you. She's like,
Ma'am,
what?
I'm just a boy. Can you come help me, please?
I'm
trying to provide a help action to
sneak.
If Esteban sees it, Esteban will call it. So can Esteban see her? Because Esteban would be helpful.
What'd you roll for stuff?
Not right now.
Okay.
I haven't rolled.
Oh,
Cool.
But
So I'm trying to provide the help action by like distracting them.
What's your limit? Lawful narc.
Yes.
okay.
And we just blew out the speakers.
Great. That's a great development. Cool. So so if you're going to try to sneak by, you will get a stealth check at advantage because of the distraction.
Okay.
Roll me perception.
Ugh.
Oh, jeez.
This is the worst combination of things!
Can I just like punch Esteban right now?
Incognito, like right in front of the people.
Or like I see
attack?
I see you about to go, and I see you notice, and I just like.
Roll me perception.
Oh boy.
Oh no!
It's an 8, but it.
The
Good guys always win.
Yeah, you will not react in time, noticing Esteban's perceptiveness.
I rolled a 13 in stealth.
Okay, so Esteban sees you at the heels of these guards, and actually, with a 13, one of the guards notices you as well at the same exact time. And he goes, "What?" And he reaches down to grab you. Make a dex save real quick.
Oh, no. 8.
That's good.
Okay, he misses his grab, and
You get like a poop plus.
He's like, yeah. How much do I really want this job?
And the woman turns and yells, "Get him!" And they begin to run after you. And it's kind of like the greased pig sort of thing, where... Okay, so go ahead and roll me one more dex save.
Dex save.
Yep.
14.
Okay, so one of them manages to tackle you, and you are now
Very
restrained and held.
Okay.
So
I'm
close.
still trying to bite him though.
And so you were able to get out into the hallway a little bit before this one. Like it was pretty funny actually because you're so small and they're like trying to get down low and tackle you. So he's actually got you like in a hold
He
like
is
this.
Covered in Bernard shit.
And he walks back up. Like he seems actually eager to impress this lady, but he walks back
Aren't
up
we
to her, and he says, "I've got it," and then he goes,
Yeah. How much Taco Bell has Bernard been eating? Like, what's the consistency?
We can't.
"Yeah, that's not the kind of story." No, he goes,
This is world building. Are there Taco Bells?
"Oh God, no." And he like slumps a little bit, like
Fails
very
his
un-
con save, apparently.
Damn it.
Pukes all over Vika.
I have succeeded, but I have failed.
At what cost?
He yells over to the other guard, "Quick, open the cell." The other guard like struggles with the keys, opens the cell, and he tosses you back in. Go ahead and make a dex save, like 'cause he really put some effort behind that.
12.
That's fine. You land somewhat gracefully, are able to kind of save from falling flat on your face, and the cell door immediately slams behind you and is locked. And the woman steps up to your cell and just looks at you with this like angry look. She
I am a
says-
girl goblin, by the way.
She says,
You called me a boy.
"Did I?"
Yeah.
Yes. You
I think
said,
it's because they're inherently racist.
yeah, they said get him.
I don't
But
think- would
in
you
their
ever tell the
defense,
difference?
you cannot tell.
No, actually.
A goblin could tell. But
I can't remember if I did that intentionally,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't actually know,
Yeah.
even now,
Yeah.
whether you were male or female.
Yeah.
And so she's just kind of staring at you. And so you actually said that you were a girl. Okay. She goes, "Well, me too."
You are a goblin.
She says,
You are the ugliest.
"I don't." She says, "I don't think you're going to live very long."
I mean, no, our lifespans
Yes.
are very short.
is it like a dog? Like 12, 13 years?
That's okay.
She says, "What's your name?"
Luca,
What does that mean?
that is my name, you ask.
Where are you from, Luca?
There's a place, it's kind of dark with trees and stuff. We don't have a name for it. Forest.
Okay. She pulls out the scroll and she says, "Now," she closes it, "you would likely already be dead, except the guards reported something that I find extremely interesting. You were looking for something coming here?
Yes.
What is that?
Well, I would like the fingers back that I took from him, but mainly I'm here to find the druids.
The druids.
Yes, the enclave of druids. Are you them? Is this that?
No, this is not that. No.
Oh,
This is very far from that.
that's.
Now,
thought
I
it would
don't
be better.
know much about your kind,
Okay.
but what do you mean by druids?
And I'm outside, magic. Sometimes I'm an animal. What do you mean by druid?
Very interesting. She just ignores your question.
Same thing. Yeah. Outside, magic, animals. Yes. All tracks.
How many druids have you known?
Well, one, but then me, I like 1.5.
So you think you're a druid?
Yes, but you think you're a goblin, so.
She actually smirks a bit. She says, "You've got some fire."
I do. I'm gonna do produce flame. It's a cantrip. It just sits there.
So it just,
It just produces a bright light that is.
And where does the light end up? Is it in your hand?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just in my hand.
Okay. She kind of like takes a step back, and reflexively, hand goes to the blade, the sword at her side, and both of the guards just crossbows up, pointed at you. And she kind of holds her hand up and she says, "That's a neat trick."
Thank you.
And
I politely applaud. But it's like 3 claws just sort of clacking together.
she says, "If you're a druid, and druids, as you say, can shift into animals, can you show me?"
Not right now. That's rude to ask for me to do that right now. Because I don't think I can right now.
None of this level.
not at this level, and not with everyone staring. It's embarrassing. Not in
That's
front
a-
of my friends.
That's very unfortunate, and doesn't blend well to your story.
Okay.
She says, "Do you know who I am? Do you know what I am?"
You're not a goblin.
You're right. I'm not a goblin.
Is that okay? That all? Can I go?
I am a judge, one of the Pimento, and I get to decide whether you live or whether you die.
Okay, but I gave him those fingers back. I didn't keep them.
I don't think you quite understand. You're a monster.
Technically, I'm a goblin. Right now.
Okay. Well, I think I've heard enough. She turns and looks at Lash and kind of says, "And what the hell are you?"
Your Honor, I am Kurilash Mandarek, but all my friends call me Lash, and I do hope that we can be friends.
All right. Okay. Not friends, no. Not now.
That's not very sporting.
Where are you from?
Oh, Mandevolo, to the south a bit. It's a beautiful country. I don't know if you've ever been.
Must be far south.
Quite a bit, yes.
About how far?
Ooh, 600-700 miles.
Well, that is quite far. I've never been that far.
How mile-wise? Sorry, this is out of character. Mile-wise, how big is the country we're in?
That's a great question.
Like this big.
Yeah.
That's so big it was on the map, so yeah, it makes sense.
And that one's like down here.
Excellent. Thank you. Never mind, Connor. You're good.
Goblin.
Got it. Yeah, we're good. We got it.
You can just draw a map over it.
Yeah, we might need to retcon the distance. I was
No, you're good.
totally ballparking.
It's
Miles.
6,000
It's-
miles.
It's like 250 miles, maybe 150 to 200 to Mount Drennan, which is inland east, basically as far as Irden goes.
Okay.
And then up and down the coast, about half that distance, with Lonnath at the center of sort of the
It's the
territory.
size of like LA County, basically.
It's decent size.
Okay.
And then the idea is then that this city is about 4 times further than anyone who's ever stayed in Lonnath their entire life and traveled to its borders would have ever been.
Gotcha. Cool.
It's quite far, if he's telling the truth.
I intended to be.
Inside check.
We didn't discuss
I have no idea if he's lying or
the
not.
specifics of the geography, but yeah.
She's kind of like looking at you. Okay. She says, "Now, how did you get in here?"
Oh, well, have you spoken to my manservants, by the way? Thumworth or Rabbitford?
I have seen them. They are asking of you.
Oh, well, that's awfully good of them. But at any rate, as I'm sure they explained to you, we were on a hunting expedition through the Pedregal Badlands. I don't know if you know those either. Between your country and mine, we were chasing down some quarry, and it gave us
What?
quite the chase.
What quarry was that?
Bugbear? You know, big, hairy, mean.
Monsters of the Wildlands, yes.
Yes, quite so. It led us on quite the merry goose chase, but we tracked it through the hills to the south of here and found ourselves, I suppose, in your lands.
Now that is an interesting story. Almost as interesting as you are. And she kind of looks over you, just kind of inspecting like the weird contours of your face. It's as
Yeah.
if like
I try to give her a reassuring smile, but I don't know how the physiology will like match.
yeah, roll me
2 feet
persuasion.
maw.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like chimps. You don't want to smile at them because it's a threat. Like, I don't know.
Shows your teeth.
Yeah. 22.
Okay. Now, at first she kind of like is taken aback by like how your face looks when you do it. But
Sure.
then she kind of, I think, gets it. Like, oh, like he's trying to be polite or or appear. I don't know.
Oh no, it's 100% for good manners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. She says, okay, well, for you, I don't think you've done anything wrong. But you're not safe in this city. For your good, your sentence is exile. My soldiers will have you out, you'll leave the land of Arryn, and you won't come back.
Seems quite fair.
Good. Soldiers will be by in the next couple days to escort you out of town. We are short-staffed at the moment, but we'll see to it that you're not harmed and you get out with all your belongings. And your men.
I'm very much obliged.
She kind of nods at you and like hesitates to turn away because like she's not sure when she's going to see one of your folk again, and she's quite interested. But she turns and looks at the bald man. She says, "Now you've got a strange look about you. Tell me what happened."
It was entirely an accident. We were just working. I was tired. It's been a very, very long day, as I'm sure, you've had a couple long days. It's been, wild for the nobility right now. So we were just working, and I got stressed, and then there was fire, and that's all I know. It was entirely an accident, and
Do you realize
Yes, ma'am.
you've been accused of attacking a lord?
I have been in faithful service to him for most of my life. I owe him everything. I would never do such a thing intentionally. Did I do it accidentally? Possibly. I couldn't even say that's how accidental it would have been because I've never done it before nor anything like it and never intend to do it again, ma'am.
She told me that she did it on purpose.
Roll persuasion.
We're gonna have PvP in the first session.
What is our
Roll deception.
Why would you believe me?
Oh, that's an 18.
12.
All
I rolled is 12.
You get the sense like she doesn't even respond to what you've said.
Yeah.
She looks at you, kind of trying to judge your sincerity. She says, "Look, you, compared to Lord Orem, he wants justice. He's been disgraced. I have to do something. Now, I believe that you didn't intend anything, but you did something nonetheless. So, as punishment, you are being, I suppose the word is drafted into the Magisterium. If this was accidental, they may be able to help you with whatever it is that's going on. And it's not death, which many in your situation might have gotten."
Okay. Thank you. Can I call my girlfriend and tell her I'm leaving?
You want a phone call? Yes.
Let's call me.
Can I write her a letter?
I get a phone call, damn it!
I want my phone call.
I send a missive.
You know that the Magisterium is in Lonnath, so you actually probably aren't. You're not going far.
The Magisterium is what, like the magic guild?
Yeah. So
State run, I'm assuming.
yeah, basically there's a sort of balance of powers that happens in any city or state. In human society, it's between state power, religious power, magic power, which usually is sort of hierarchical based on how powerful the individual is, and then individuals gather underneath. It's almost like a university structure. And then there are other sort of more subtle powers that seek to also balance those things, but typically those three things vie for power. You know that right now, in Auran, military state power is basically in charge under the Bone Arrow family and has been for 200 years, and they've held the Magisterium pretty well in check during that time, working side by side. And since I already mentioned that if you've been around the city at all, you know that the Bone Arrows don't have a stance on religion. They don't comment on it at all, and they kind of let the temples and churches run with freedom and don't take a stance on any of that stuff. So yeah, basically what you know is that you're basically joining a sort of military state force, and it's kind of like a lifelong sentence in some ways, especially since you've been drafted into it rather than having paid your way into education through the Magisterium or some other way of entry. So she says, well, I suppose when you've established yourself there, you can send your woman a letter. And she walks to the next cell and looks at you. She says, now, you've got an interesting story. What were you doing?
When?
When my man caught you.
Allegedly.
I plead the fifth.
I refuse to speak without an attorney present.
mean, this is out of character. I don't exactly know how they got me, so can I just make something up?
Yeah.
You just said I was arrested.
So what you know is that you took a job spying on military movements.
Was it in
tracking
Lonnath?
supplies? It was in Lonnath, in the city, and you actually don't really know what happened. A darkness crept over your eyes, and then you were knocked out, and you woke up in the cell. And as far as you know, well, so basically what you were working on was you were hired to spy so that you could steal some of the military supplies that were moving through the city. But yeah, you don't know how you got caught. You didn't detect anybody.
Okay. Was I like at the docks, just in the middle of the city?
Yeah, so she's, you were in Hightown, which is basically a higher, it's actually up on a cliff.
All the addresses are just 420. It's so hard to figure it out.
And then
So-
it's downtown all 69.
Take a left on Indica, turn right on OG Kush.
Okay, so I was in.
It's canon.
And it's cannabis.
That's gotta be inspiration. That's gotta be inspiration.
Oh, it hurts.
Was I just like walking the streets?
No, you were up on like a rooftop.
Real life.
Okay,
doing
so I
your
was
psychic
thing,
damage.
like, you were in full like spy mode, like gathering intel for a thieving job, and you didn't even know what happened, and apparently you got caught.
Okay.
So she's basically asking like, what were you doing when you got caught, more than how did you get caught?
I was just minding my own business.
On the roof.
It's relaxing.
I
Sell
know.
it. Just sell that. Love it.
Lots of sunbathing up there, you know, like
At 4 a.m.
Take a
sunbathing.
moonbathing.
I like to people watch. I was just.
In the middle of the night. That's a little creepy.
Is that against the law?
It's my favorite.
Yeah. Is it a crime to be creepy now?
I mean, I guess technically,
Yes.
I think the goblin had a better story than that.
My story was true, so
I was reading the stars. Since I am a fortune teller.
Roll the 7.
I was waiting for it.
I was trying to get my horoscope.
Ooh.
I was recharging my crystal.
What am I rolling? The deception?
Yeah, D20 and then
Saturn was in
deception
retrograde, so
Yeah.
obviously, prime time.
Yeah.
It's got a green dot next to it. What does that mean?
Means you're proficient.
Yep.
It already doesn't
So you
matter.
just added
you
3.
add
Yeah,
that
you're just
number.
adding 3.
11.
She kind of just like if people in this world did face palms, that's kind of the look on
She
her
just
face at this
invented the
point.
face
Yeah.
palm.
Yeah, she's kind of like, we know who you are.
Do they know who I am?
You don't know.
You don't
that.
know. Yeah. Does anyone really know anyone?
Okay, so she says to me, we know who you are.
She says, we know
In the
who you
biblical
are.
sense.
We know what you've been up to, and we've been fine to overlook it until now. And you should have known, during wartime especially, that sort of job would not go tolerated.
I don't know what job you're referring to.
They
Denied,
don't like
denied,
fortune
denied.
tellers. It's bad
Roll,
for
roll
war.
deception again.
Yeah.
I've been getting really low.
There you
Ooh.
go.
So 22.
Great. What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about?
Okay, I don't know what job you're
I
talking
don't
about.
believe that you were on the roof sightseeing.
Okay, I wasn't looking at the stars. But I don't know what job you're talking about. I was maybe staking out seeing if there was any, rich tourists in town, but there's no job.
Rich tourists?
Just
For what? What were you going to do with them when you saw them?
Probably tell their fortune.
they will fork over a lot of money for phony fortunes.
She told me my fortune. She said, I will leave here with lots of friends, and you will be my best friend.
Feces and friends are not the same.
But you're my friend.
It's the same
To
word.
you.
It's the same word in Goblin.
This explains so much.
She says, the Sons of Dismas are no friends to the state. And
Am I?
You're in a gang?
and espionage is punishable by death, no matter whether you're an agent of Kotu or not. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't know what any of those names mean. I just don't know what the second name means.
Which name?
The second one.
Kotu.
Kotu, that's the country where
where
they're
it's
in
the
Country
war,
that
right?
Arwen is
Oh.
at war at.
Yeah.
I've
So,
never even heard of them.
so
Wait, I actually.
you rolled really well in that.
Who are the
perception
Sons of
check, not
Disney?
knowing what that name was.
No, so you more with your
I believed it. No, so you know that basically what she's implying is like you don't get the sense that she believes that you aren't a spy of Kotu, but that potentially that the Sons of Dismas are not beyond taking a job for Kotu to spy on military movements for the state. And she's basically implying like that could be what's at stake here, and she may not have the time to get to the bottom of it, but she's leaning toward like sending you to your death for spying on military movements. And so she says, do you have anything to say for yourself?
I'm not working for Kotu, that's for sure.
Roll perception. Or
Am I working?
deception.
I'm not working for Kotu, am I?
You're not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
The Sons of Dismas, well actually you wouldn't know
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
who gave the Sons of Dismas this job. So as far as you know, it could have been Kotu, but you don't know that it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna say to her, like, I'm no traitor. And I'm rolling.
Persuasion.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
My deception is higher.
Yeah.
13 for persuasion.
Okay. She says, it's a pity. Your gifts could have been used elsewhere. And she walks past you.
Wait,
What?
like, used where?
I'm sorry, it's too late for that.
Okay.
Ah, shoot.
She looks
Nuts.
into the cell where the Earth Genasi is. What are you doing at this point?
I'm sitting there with one leg tucked underneath and one leg up, and I just have my arm like here resting.
Like the thinking man?
Yeah, kind of. No, not here.
Okay.
Just like slumped like that with my arm on my knee, on my knee. Right now.
She says, stand, please.
This room's a little short for me.
Stand.
I stand up and I'm like this. Can I help you?
How tall are you?
6 feet. So I'm like, I touch the
You're
ceiling, so-
you're like at the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
he wouldn't have been able to stand.
Yeah, I
You
was.
can't stand.
But it made me look like I was bowing the whole time, so that's fine.
Well, that works in your favor.
Yeah.
She like that.
You're also not going to be able to stand up straight for like 3 weeks.
I've been sitting most of the time. It's fine.
She says, what are you?
I'm a man made of dirt.
She says, I feel like there's a metaphor in there.
There might be.
If I were feeling more poetic, I might think of something, but I'm actually asking, where the hell are you from, and what are you doing in our city?
I am from nowhere. I was created by an evil god. No childhood, no family. I was cast out when they were done with me. I have nowhere to go. My only goal is to kill the witch who created me and cursed me to this desolate life. Yeah, that's where- I come here for information on her whereabouts. Go to a bar to get a little bit of rest. Some guy doesn't look at me right. I don't look normal. I understand that. We get a little bit of a tussle. They throw me in jail. That's why I'm here.
Persuasion.
Persuasion is doo-doo.
You're 8 or 2.
It's a 2.
Number 2.
Oh, no, wait, no, I guess a 4.
That's a little.
Double doo-doo, okay?
It's 2 turds.
I like how prominent poop has been.
It's really promising for the direction of the story.
Not gonna be the
so far,
last
this
time.
campaign is shit. I'm
Really reassuring.
You're welcome.
She kind of looks at you and it looks like she doesn't believe your story. But she seems a bit curious by your appearance. That's quite a tale. I'm not sure I believe.
Understandable. Where else would I come from?
So, I don't care where you came from.
That's
but
pretty rude.
You've
This
been.
lady is really racist.
No, this Lonnath and Irden.
This whole town
Yeah.
is really racist.
Why did any of us come here?
I don't know.
Where are we? South Carolina? Like,
1941 Germany? Why are we here?
She says, "You've been reported for assaulting a citizen of Lonnath. Do you plead guilty?"
He attacked me.
Did he?
He did.
And did you have any witnesses? I have 4 witnesses that claim that you were the first to strike.
They claimed I was the first to strike. The odd-looking man, of course they're going to go take his side. Why would they take mine? I'm an outsider.
I do see how the odds are not in your favor. Convince me why I should let you live and simply be exiled rather than sending you to the gallows.
I have no prior offenses. I come here looking for information, a little bit of food. One guy looks at me wrong, they all gang up on me. What do you expect? I'll leave in peace. No need to keep me here.
You don't have any friends, any connections here? in the
No
city?
one.
No one. Okay, well, evens or odds?
Odds.
She says,
7s are even, right?
she says, I think I can't spare the soldiers for you, but I can spare the gallows. So to the gallows you'll go. She turns away from you and turns toward the last cell.
I was in the wrong place. I don't have bad influences. I want to roll performance. Ooh, 20. I was told what to do, and I knew it was wrong, but I just am so small, and I can't do it.
Shut up.
Oh, thank you.
Where are you from? She looks at your blue hair.
I don't know. I don't even know my dad.
Boy, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna have my guard here shoot you with a crossbow.
That's a bit much.
Great.
You're under arrest, and you need to pay attention, or else consequences will come that otherwise might not.
Okay,
Do you understand?
kind of.
Good. Now, my men caught you stealing in Hightown, and if I'm not mistaken, you are from Dockside? She kind of like looks at your clothes. You are.
Okay.
That's where. So you're.
My real name's Kylo Ren. I want to be like my grandfather. Ironically, with the same voice. There you go.
Yeah.
So, Dockside is close to the docks.
Shocking. Yeah. What?
And it's a seedier part of town.
Yeah.
It's where you'd expect
Industrial
thieves
complex.
to be.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fishing, a lot of the business surrounding fishing, like boat making, net making, all of that sort of thing.
Peaky Blinders. Got it.
Yeah. So, so she's basically saying something about like your class, in saying like you're from Dockside, aren't you?
She's racist and classist.
I'm just an orphan, and I'm a boy. I can't live for myself, so they told me what to do, and I just did it. I'm so sorry.
There are consequences for your actions, but we find ourselves in need of soldiers, and
I mean, if you think a 13-year-old boy can be a soldier, then great.
not today, but someday. I
Okay.
like to bring them in young, train them up.
Oddly sensual, but alright, I'm kind of into it. Can I call you Mom? That was I did not say that.
But you said oh man. Okay.
Here we go.
If I let you live, because the punishment for your crime is loss of limb, or depending on your associations, and then she kind of glances over her shoulder and like at the one she mentioned was in a gang.
I don't make eye contact.
I could sentence you to death. I don't want you to lose a limb or to die. I actually like you. And she looks at your hair. As if that's a peculiar thing.
predatory.
Yeah.
You told me no bad jokes. Come on, man. I can do this.
Hey, man.
Oh
I'm
boy.
just playing the character.
Yeah.
This is like one of those teachers you hear about in the news.
Bernard is just like quiet, like down, like looking down, like not really making eye contact, like probably like letting off like a soft sob every once in a while, milking it. Like this is the thing.
Vuka reaches her hand to the bars and pats him.
Is it covered in pink?
Oh yeah.
Are you wearing long sleeves or short sleeves?
I'm not wearing sleeves.
It's the potato sack.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You can tell that like she's taking your age into it.
Oh, okay,
Like,
okay.
She like most
Sure.
of this is like she.
Like, I'm assuming this is not Bernard's first time playing this card.
I'm just
Yeah,
a poor
Is he-
boy.
Yeah.
Nobody loves me.
Nobody loves me.
She's a flamboy.
Compared to everyone else, those that she deems monsters or criminals, she's kind of put you in another category in how she's treating you.
Sure.
And so she says, "Boy, what's your name?"
It's Bernard.
Bernard.
Yeah.
Bernard, one of my men is going to be by to collect you in the next couple
They're
of
not
days.
gonna hurt me, are they? They hurt me where I come from. They don't let me go back to where they hurt me, please.
I won't make promises.
Jeez.
She's being realistic.
Wow. Cold.
Bernard, the world is a dark place, full of monsters. She glances over at Vuka.
The night is dark and full of terrors.
Sometimes some roughness helps us to survive. You'll understand.
Okay. I think.
She says,
Thank you for not killing me.
well, not yet anyway.
Thank you for not killing me yet.
That's right.
Ugh. That was the worst thing she said in the whole time.
That's right, Bernard.
Ooh.
She kind of turns as if addressing all of you at once and says, you'll all be collected for your various destinations probably the next day. We're quite busy, but I'll deliver my orders, and it was a pleasure. She kind of smirks, like, slightly, meeting all of you. And then she exits the room.
Oh, Bernard
guards
bows and
and
says, "Pleasure to meet you too."
She kind of like half stops and just kind of nods and keeps going. The guards close the door, bar it, and the footsteps go down.
I want to throw a rock at Chase.
Where are you gonna get a rock from?
Estebar.
My body.
Yeah.
Don't throw a rock at Chase because that would hurt her.
Tear off
Throw a
the
rock at Estebar
Yeah.
because he
Top
is
rock.
made up.
tear off the
And it
top
would
rock.
not
and-
actually
You're
hurt.
right.
There you go.
Wait,
Esteban.
I'm-
I made up.
I
Oh.
move so that you have a clear shot.
Or just some of that sand from your
Yeah,
chamber
I'm gonna throw
plot.
some of the sand from the chamber pot.
Okay.
That's his poop, technically.
Yeah, technically.
Make a ranged attack.
Pocket
roll.
sand.
Shusha.
It's just gonna spray all
You
over
don't, you don't get to add your proficiency.
It's a 2.
Consistency, though.
It rhymes with poo. I mean, it is consistent.
That's a
It is a number
So-
2.
So it probably actually looks more like you're like sprinkling the ground with some sand.
Thank you. They're the chef with the salt.
Salt Bay.
Yeah, but it does not
those
hit
dank
target.
memes.
You're lucky I'm not a good throw, you kiss
I
ass.
do. I throw it every time I see my.
She's a nice lady.
She was,
Creepy, but a nice lady.
I don't think she was a nice lady.
No.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that only one of us is gonna die tomorrow.
Who?
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, that sounds really rough because that's
No, I'm
definitely
pretty sure
not
I'm also
what's happening
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Yeah, everyone, we're going to die, and that you're fine, maybe.
Yeah, everyone's fine. Everyone I care about.
Yeah. Everyone that counts is fine.
Wait, who got sentenced to death? You got sentenced to death. You got sentenced to death. You got sentenced to death.
Now I sentenced to death.
I was.
It was
You
implied.
didn't-
I was
yeah.
technically the only one actually
Actually
sentenced
I rolled
to
a
death.
22 in deception, and I still got
I'm
sentenced.
do Genasi.
I feel like there's
Yeah,
a certain
yeah,
point
how
like
would
no
you-
amount of
would
good
it,
lies
would
are gonna
just
help.
like the rope just go through the sand?
They're actually pretty much human.
Okay.
They're just.
I was curious about that. I was
Their
like, would a
skin-
gallows work?
It'd be
Their
like,
skin is
you
like
idiots.
dirt, but everything else is human. They eat
I just
normally.
wasn't sure this was going to be
breathe
like a
normally, yeah.
Rasputin situation where they're like,
Yeah. We step sand.
think
We
it's
drown
supposed
it.
to do
Just
something?
wet sand.
Well, that was fun.
Are we all
hey,
just kind of sitting
hey,
here now?
Vuka, can I have my chamber pot back?
No, it's mine now.
Can you still squeeze through the bars?
How
Are you
juicy
dry now?
still?
It's all crusty and gross.
Yeah, it's not as slippery and slick as it once was.
Must be slick. Must be slick.
You could probably,
Like reapply.
you just
I mean,
you lick your fingers and try to wet them back down.
looking at the amount of resources you have at hand, you don't think you could get quite as slick as before.
Does anyone want to try burning down the door? Or is that still a bad
I mean, you're the one
Well,
with the
there's
magic
pretty much
coming
anything
out of
that
your
gets me out of
hand.
Yeah,
so-
can
I was
magic
talking,
people-
so that's fine. You know what? That's fine. Go ahead.
Go ahead, you little shit.
Okay, you're the one with fire coming out of your hands. Why don't you do something about it?
Not yet. Do you want me to burn down the door?
Fucking go for it, dog.
I'm not a dog.
That's not. It was like it's a thing that
Like now.
people. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
Sometimes, yes, but not now.
You could be a dog.
Thought you couldn't do that yet, or in
But-
front of people.
Thank you for talking about it.
They just kind of sits on the chamber pot.
But seriously, on her two chamber pots that she has. Are you small enough that you could like sit on one and put your feet up on the other?
Yeah, I was gonna say like an ottoman.
The most furniture you've ever owned.
This is the lap of luxury.
I'm very comfortable. So,
Okay, well that was good. I like this. So, hey, do I know anybody that's been conscripted into the military, or is it kind of like once you get conscripted, like you never see them again?
You, in the kind of life you were living, if anyone got pulled into the military, like, you probably wouldn't have seen them
Okay.
again.
So it's basically like a death sentence,
Well,
in as far as Bernard is concerned.
Bernard doesn't understand wartime,
Sure.
and it's very new for most people who live in Lonnath right now
Sure.
to have experienced Lonnath in wartime. but there is a lot of confusion in the city. There isn't there hasn't really been a draft like this. Usually people join the military because they've fallen on hard times, or it's honorable, or they have the option, if they're a prisoner, death or join the military. These are the sorts of people that would have in the past, but now there is a draft that's happened, and
They need fodder for the front lines, kind of thing.
precisely.
Got it.
So yeah, you don't know exactly what's in store for you.
Well, I'm gonna cast Firebolt and a lock on my door.
Oh, now you want to escape.
Yeah.
You could do that the whole time.
So make a
Now I know
ranged
my
spell attack.
situation.
So you're like standing back at the back of the cell, and okay.
Shooting a Firebolt. So my ranged attack is 12.
Okay. Yeah.
What's the AC of the lock?
Yeah, I was saying stationary, right?
No, it dodges out of the way. No.
Ah, shit!
Slippery lock.
That's one of those animated locks.
Just like Disney's like,
Yeah.
"Whoa."
Like Sorcerer's Apprentice with the brooms.
So Firebolt isn't like a very powerful thing.
Unless I cantrip.
So it doesn't like blast it off, but you do see that like as the fire kind of like leaps from your hand and engulfs that the lock. It doesn't really make purchase. The cell doesn't like you might expect with a more potent spell that it actually like shake the iron, but it actually doesn't have much effect. But you do see like
Is it like
it
red?
heated it up a bit.
Can I kick it now that it's hot?
You can
With
kick
my
it.
nice leather boots
You can kick it.
that survived my fire blast.
So this would
I
be
don't know what that is.
It's
Cocked.
cocked.
Yeah,
Roll again.
Yeah.
this would be an attack without proficiency,
Okay. That's
and it
fair.
would be adding a strength
Yeah.
modifier.
No, I want. No. I should have gone the other way. Oh. That's a 15.
Okay, yeah, you give it a good solid kick, and what you wished the firebolt would have done in force to shake the iron, you're able to do, but there's no real change to that iron bar.
You said these locks were kind of shitty.
They're common, but they're iron.
Yeah.
And a small amount of heat and a
Why are your clothes?
Frail kick.
a small boy's kick.
Wait, how old are you?
30.
Oh,
Yeah,
give or
so not a boy, but not a big, strong,
Small.
burly.
I also have no
earth
facial
genasi.
hair, so it's hard to determine
Right.
Yeah.
age and expression.
Well, 39. Okay, I gotcha.
You got a
Yeah.
couple crow's feet, maybe.
Maybe.
Whoa, some of us are turning 30.
I am under a lot of stress at my job.
The job that you just burned your master, that one? A little bit of
Yeah, that's
stress
a
there.
stressful situation.
Points of order is your wild magic is
Yeah.
for spells level 1 or higher, not cantrip.
I honestly think it's just every time, and it's actually I think it's
I think
whenever
it's
you
every
ask
time you
me.
roll a d20.
That's a good question. That is why I bookmark everything. Sorcerer's Origin,
Probably.
dragons,
Different
wild magic.
thing.
I'm lost.
So it says once per turn you can ask me. Oh, cast a sorcerer spell first level or higher. So I have to cast a first level.
Okay, so it doesn't
Yeah.
count for cantrips. That's nice.
All right.
That's helpful. You turn into a frog on the first.
Ah,
I
I
know.
like the edge. Just get out of there.
Yeah.
Wriggle under the door.
You win D&D.
Make it eaten by Gru.
So, do we have anything we can use to pick the locks?
Hold up.
I've got an empty
I'm gonna
lantern.
take my chamber pot and just slam it in the lock as hard as I can.
You're welcome
Probably
to try
clay.
whatever you'd like.
Can I take the lantern
Can I-
apart
I'm
and...
gonna do it.
Oh, you're going to.
I'm gonna do it.
You're
I'm gonna take my chamber pot and slam it against the lock as hard as I can.
Okay.
What, just make it a regular attack roll?
You're just totally emotionally even keel, gonna try and hit that.
As hard as I like. What am I gonna do?
Okay. No, I was trying to
Are you gonna-
hint at something.
are you gonna-
but-
Incite a rage.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it yet.
okay,
You're
yeah.
about
Go,
to be. Go ahead and roll.
go ahead and make an attack
You
roll
mad
without
about
your
yourself?
proficiency added.
It's a 2.
Okay, roll a different die. Roll a different die.
Done. No,
No, keep
it's
going.
done. It's good. Game over.
Oh
Bye, guys.
boy.
Now the probability is higher
What'd I roll?
that it will
What'd I roll?
higher. A
16.
Hey,
So
just blew out the speakers again.
Tehran actually like hits the lock pretty good, but when you hit it, the chamber like you're not
Shatters.
good at using chamber pots to fight, surprisingly, but it kind of like flies out of your hand and flips down and hits your foot pretty hard.
Ow.
And you actually take 1 point of damage.
There's
take
sand everywhere
14
now.
damage and pass out.
There's just sand.
There's like a sand bruise.
Is there
I don't know what
any-
that looks like for Genasi, but
Wait.
it's the
Like, you ever
equivalent of a
seen
bruise.
the beach where there's like one wet spot? It looks like that, but it's that's the bruise.
Yeah, so you get the sense that you've caused some internal bleeding, and
Oh, man.
you may have gotten close to like
You have a
breaking the bone.
hematoma.
Like that's how.
Now I'm pissed off at it.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go into a rage.
Okay.
Is there any reaction to the noise like outside the?
Yeah. So it makes a loud noise. Thus far, you haven't heard any other
No,
noise.
now I'm mad at it. I'm gonna go into a rage.
Okay.
And
Do you want someone to go?
Can you? So
I want
is,
to. I want to.
is Tehran like I go into a rage, or like what? How does he? How does he
Ah, the fucking chamber pot! He grabs it. Ah! Hits it like that.
okay. Go ahead and
So the better
make an
dice.
athletics check at advantage.
Natural 20.
Hello! First one of the game!
Okay, so yeah, you just start pulsing with rage, and like you're like nobody hurts my foot, not even me. And
You kill yourself.
Cut your foot off.
It's on principle.
And you kind of take the chamber pot and do almost a kamehameha with it, where you just kind of bring it back and then just like thrust it forward with your whole body, and it hits the iron of that lock and just actually shatters some of that iron, and the door swings open. And it was a lot louder than your first hit.
It's fine.
Can I try squeezing through again now that I've pooped?
What?
Honestly, didn't think through this far. I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Are you monkeying it? You're like pooping in your hand? Like rubbing it on yourself?
I'm from the chamber pot
Oh,
and then
gotcha.
like spit.
Yeah, go ahead and make a dex check.
17.
You are trying to get yourself through again, and you feel some of that same like, oh yeah, it's sliding. Make a dex save.
Oh shit, 6.
You're stuck.
Oh.
It doesn't hurt, but you literally can't get the force either direction to unstuck yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna see the little goblin and go, you stupid little goblin, and get through.
Okay. Athletics.
Go back to the. No?
You should have advantage on it,
I
yeah?
should.
Yeah.
Because you're
I
raging.
need to go back. I just see what my advantage. So 11.
Cool. Yeah, you grab her, like, you palm her head and just like yank her out, and like the scraping of the iron bars against her, 1 damage.
Okay.
And she kind of like squeals in pain a little bit as you pull her out.
Just
But
drop on the ground.
okay.
Don't get stuck again, you fucking idiot.
Thank you. You have saved my life.
I'm gonna kick her. Just a tap.
What?
I'm mad.
Roll me athletics at advantage.
Oh, jeez.
Just a tap. I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
You're in a rage right now.
Yeah, it's fine. 19.
Yeah, you punt her,
Oh, it's fine.
and she hits the iron bars.
And goes back into the cell.
No, she just like
shoot.
kind of like hits against them, like lets out a little like painful squeal, takes another point of damage.
What'd you get?
What?
Dang.
Being fucking dumb.
PvP. Kill the party.
I feel like,
Kill the party.
I feel like any 2 people in the group right now want to kill everyone else, basically.
I honestly, I want to look around the room to see if I can find anything to try to get out.
Perception.
5.
Yeah, you don't have any ideas. about how to get out of here. You see all the things you've seen before and nothing new. Except for this goblin outside of itself.
That's not new.
Excuse me, friend. I do think it was awfully unsporting the way they treated you, so if you could help me get out of this cell, I may have a bit of something for the door.
Deal.
Yeah, wait, can you just kind of get all our doors while you're here?
It's gonna take a little while.
Yeah, no. Like, if you pull and I'm pushing on this door,
I'm just gonna take my chamber pot again and just smash it against his lock against his lock.
You can make the athletics check at advantage.
22.
Yeah. So, and then, are you going to do anything in response to him trying to pick up the chamber pot?
Well, he's evidently like hitting it toward me, so no, I'm gonna get out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, you hit it pretty hard, and it seems like it's going to break under your strength. But as a contest, I got
oh my god,
yeah.
20. So what actually happens is you do mangle it pretty hard. Like if you hit it the right way, it would have broke. But it actually has like closed the lock and dented it inward. So you get the sense that even with the key now, like
all right,
he's gonna starve to death.
Seeing that, I'm gonna see if I can just like now kick it the opposite direction.
Okay.
That's a crit.
Okay.
Woo! Yeah, and my strength is +3.
So describe how you knock down this door.
It's just a solid, weird-looking like dinosaur foot. like, yeah, just comes up
Like Velociraptor?
like a T-Rex, but proportionate, to his height. But
Big feet.
no, the arms are normal. Feet are big. Yeah, and it just sort of there's just like a weird, slightly raspy clunk because of the scales, and yeah, door just swings open.
Yep. It swings open, and you're no longer...
I tip my pith helmet, and I say, "That was a ripping good show." And I walk up to the door, and I go, "Give me a bit. This is always a bit difficult." Deep inhale, fire breath.
At the door?
Yeah, it needs to make a dexterity save.
Yeah, that way, door.
Yeah,
I don't know about
it
this
fails
door.
the save.
The door's like, oh no!
That's a 10 fire damage
Okay.
to the door.
Yeah, you... so how's the shape of this again?
It's a cone. I think it's 15 feet from me outward.
Okay, because of the nature of the room, I need Esteban to make a dex save as the flames kind of like curl out
All
to the
his
side.
new hair.
Yeah. 15 foot cone.
Fire can't hurt me.
That's
And actually,
Oh.
I'm gonna give this as sort of like an advantage due to your recent experience. In like you have now kind of like a built-in second sense for like
Fire!
avoiding flames, so you get to make this dex save at advantage.
Fire
What am I
bad.
looking for? Okay. Well, that was okay. That's better. 16.
Yeah, you kind of like immediately. You don't know this dragon has fire breath, but you are like you can feel the heat coming, and you just are back in the corner of your cell.
The
and
DC
avoiding
is
fire.
13 for the record. So
Great.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, your fire was modified by my wall. So.
Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah. So I go. Whew! It's a bit spicy.
Yeah, as the fire and smoke clears, like the door has caught. It's actually burning.
Okay.
But it didn't like blow it down or open. But it's deep set. Like the fire is, it's on fire.
Okay.
I feel like maybe you should have gotten the rest of us out of our cells before.
I'm remembering that one and that one are okay. I'm gonna free her from the. I'm gonna go grab my chamber pot and run it, roar, smash it again.
Okay. Athletics with advantage.
21.
Okay. Yeah.
One man wrecking ball over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barbarians,
Advantage.
idiots. Okay.
Yeah. That one just the lock falls off of it, and it's just crushed open.
Is
And
it even locked?
The door. The door.
It's been
You even
unlocked
tried?
Assumed they were doing their job. I didn't even
I built that in. Yours was the only one unlocked.
You never tried to open it, so
I just assumed they were going to.
We failed the lock puzzle.
No, but yeah, your door is now unlocked, and you are free to walk.
Is it
in.
unlocked or just
Open.
In a manner of speaking.
Just
Clean
wait
it
no
open.
longer.
It's still locked. It's just open.
Well, it can never be locked again.
Okay, there you go.
As that transpires, a few 10, 15 seconds has passed. There's a good deal of smoke beginning to fill the room.
Yeah, I want to take a quick look at the current state of this door.
Okay.
So 2 for investigation.
Wow.
It's on fire.
Okay. All right.
maybe.
You're pretty sure. You've seen fire before.
I did this, yeah? This was me?
All right. Seeing that it's starting to smoke a lot, I'm gonna hope that this door has been weakened by burning, and see if I can just smash it down at this point.
Okay. Go ahead.
I love that it's been 37 seconds since Big Beef Girl was in here.
We're letting everything
Where did they go?
Please leave me in my cell.
Just
She put her headphones
strength
on
check.
as soon as she walked out.
Yeah, go ahead and do athletics. So wait, how are you trying to knock it down?
kick it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Athletics is fine.
Are you immune to fire?
13.
Okay, yeah,
He's
you
breathing.
level a good kick against it. The door kind of shakes, and but you don't get the sense that it's been burned enough to have weakened so that it might shatter. You get the sense if you let it burn a while longer, maybe too long for your air quality, that you might be able to kick it down then.
Just fanning.
I ducked down low.
There's no windows.
No windows.
There's no doors.
Find a way out.
Are there drainage pipes or anything?
No
Nothing.
grates. This is a sealed room.
If you get me out, I could do something to the door, too. If you would be willing. I know I'm not.
No, but that'd be breaking the rules there, homie. Looks like you're gonna have to burn this fucker down.
I worked really hard to get where I am. I don't want to start at the bottom again.
That felt like a short joke.
It's okay. Oh, I get it.
You may be able to redeem yourself, you little shit, and I'm gonna hit that one too.
Okay.
I'm gonna be pulling on Bernard's door the entire time. He's smashed in every single one of their
21.
doors.
Yeah, you break that one down too.
Vuka's got mine. Don't let that big guy touch my door.
I'll go help Vuka with his door.
Don't fucking touch my door.
You're just gonna pull on it as well.
Leave me in here.
Yeah.
When they come in here and murder everyone, I'll be the only one left alive.
Roll athletics at advantage. It's a very small advantage.
11.
Yeah, you don't get any sort of budge.
Can I help? I'm helping. I'm helping.
That was
the advantage.
I want to cast Chaos Bolt on the door.
Chaos
Okay.
Bolt.
Can
What
you-
is
Yeah.
that?
I do not know this spell.
No.
Yeah, why don't you
It's
read
a
the spell
fun
for us?
sorcerer spell. Oh, read it? I just wrote notes. Okay. It's fine.
I just wrote it does
tabbed
whatever I
all
want.
of my
Oh,
alphabet. I
It
tabbed
says
my
on the
spell
paper.
list.
That's okay.
So-
If you don't have the full thing,
No, I do. I alphabetized my spells.
Chaos Bolt.
Get it.
She gets fucked up.
Esteban would do that.
Except it's not on here
best.
because it's only in the app. It's not
That's
even in
okay.
my handbook.
That's okay.
Do you have it?
So,
I'm gonna read it off of here.
So, what sort of damage is Esteban trying to conjure?
Well, I don't decide.
That's
It's
right, you don't.
chance. So I need
gonna be-
my
from the door.
2d8.
It's gonna be cold and she's gonna put it out.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Water
set the
damage.
purple one as the damage type.
What's that weird sword?
Oh wait, I have to make an attack roll too. So my attack roll is
Crit.
25.
Natural 20.
Which means that's another double damage. damage.
Okay.
So I said purple, so it is going to be cold damage.
Oh
Not to the door, to her cell door, not to
No,
the
this
fire
is
door.
the fire
This is
door.
the fire door.
I know, but
Yeah.
She sets off a cold nuke bomb.
And the damage total on that is 8, 9 plus 16, 25.
Wow.
Holy
Cold
shit.
damage to the door.
25 points of damage?
Wait,
And-
are you doubling?
That is double.
Oh, that is
Do I
double.
have to do my d20?
Was it
Uh,
first
No,
level?
you double something to another.
was that a level 1
You
spell?
can double something.
Level 1 spell.
Okay, so it's not a D20, it's a D100.
Yep.
Oh, it's right. No, I roll a d20, and if I fail my if I get a 1 on the
that's-
d20,
yeah.
then I
Then
roll
you-
on the table.
yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
So,
Oh, okay.
wait, at what point when you roll a D20 am I rolling for wild?
I roll a d. No, I don't. Do you roll on the
It's
table,
whenever
or do
you
I
cast-
roll on the table? Whenever I cast a spell at first level or higher, I roll a d20 at the DM's discretion. Technically, you tell me to roll the
Yes,
d20.
roll the D20.
Great.
There's a. I'll send it to you guys.
There's a 2.
Yeah.
There it is.
There's a,
But it is.
I think the TM rolls for the effect.
Does he? Okay.
I think.
That's fine.
you-
There's
yeah.
a,
I mean,
uh,
honestly, it doesn't matter much,
die,
but
and then
yeah.
there's
No,
a,
it matters.
Chase, Connor, there's a table that I used in one of the other campaigns that's 10,000
Whoa.
effects. So you roll a D1000, it's a D100 4 times. And I'll have to send it to you. It's bonkers.
Yeah, that is. It just says if you roll a 1, roll on the table.
Okay, and then, so I only do that once a day for you?
No, it's every time I cast a spell
If
first
you-
level
yeah.
or higher.
If you fail the... Yeah,
And then if I get a 1, I roll on the table, but I got 2.
Yeah.
And
So
it says you
Narrowly
roll on the
it
table?
says if you roll a 1, roll on the wild magic
Oh,
search
okay.
table.
Alright.
Okay,
So-
so for
I guess I do.
Yeah.
for this game, I'm going to
But
be rolling
Go for it. Yeah, you're. Yeah.
because I'm going to be pulling from, I think, a different table.
Cool.
Alright.
I will never bring this to session again.
Yeah, you're,
Wow.
you will obviously never fudge one of those rules for...
yeah, it definitely won't be whatever is
for dramatic effect.
yeah,
because
most dramatic in that
yeah.
instance.
No, that's
That
not,
would never happen at all.
that's
No.
not my job.
Yeah.
To make things like really dangerous and
Yeah,
interesting.
he would never do that.
No, of course not.
He is a benevolent
that's what-
god.
I can't believe anyone would suggest such a thing.
Yeah, I'm offended.
I'm offended for you.
You're
I'm
gonna roll
offended
my
that you're
D20 for me
offended,
too as well every time.
No, that's fine. You can roll the D20. Okay, great. So you, what does it look like when
That's a real good question.
Esteban casts this spell?
So hold on, let me make sure that it's not verbal, because otherwise he's gonna have to say something.
It's verbal and somatic.
Damn
Yep.
it.
How do you cast this spell?
So he doesn't really know what he's doing because he's really new to this. So he's kind of like, okay, shoot.
Go.
Go let it go.
And like, I think the blast
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
credit,
that way.
so I think the blast is so strong he actually like gets pushed back a little bit, and he's like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So
Did you mean to make it snow?
so you kind of like.
It's like the opposite of fire. I'm not a master at this. That's fine.
So you say go, almost like Spider-Man, like go let go,
I said
but
shoot,
like
but yeah,
like
Shoot, web.
I
Okay,
think
you say
he was
shoot.
probably trying to cast magic missile. Though.
I was not feeling
Fire magic missiles better.
So yeah, it does knock you back because a huge bolt of cold energy just flies. I mean, it's not that far from you. This isn't a huge room, but like 6 feet away from you, hits the door and shatters it in half. It's like
Splinters.
it's
Shattered.
a loud cracking noise that surely has been heard as the
Think the
door
chamber
splits in
I
half.
know they didn't hear us like destroying iron.
They put their
doors.
headphones in as soon as they left the room, guys.
I knew Kendrick got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Fire.
Hey.
the door is
On some real levels, yes.
cracked open, and there's an opening to the hallway.
I'm
So
still
don't look at me. I'm
Yeah.
not fucking dying.
pulling on Bernard's.
Can I like? Well, I don't have anything to like pick locks. Can I use
I'm
any?
gonna I'm gonna smash the Bernard's door. I don't
Okay.
just because you said told me not to.
Advantage athletics.
Move little.
Vuko gets out of the way and says, "Don't kick me
19.
again, you weird."
Yeah.
It's there.
You break it open.
Wrecking ball.
I came in like a
Okay.
I'm gonna grab Bernard by the scruff and I'm gonna throw him at the door.
This is against my will. You all can say that this is against my will. You're all my witness.
Okay, I say we leave.
I thieves can't to you while all this is happening. Like, we need to run.
Yeah.
Okay, do we know where our stuff is? Because I want my stuff.
How about
Let's leave the
you?
need my
room
pants.
first.
I need my pants? Is that what she said? You haven't been wearing pants this whole time?
The whole time. I didn't tell you guys.
They
This
took my
answer
pants. Like, why
a
didn't they
lot
take
of
anyone else's
questions.
pants?
That would
They
have
burned
been
away?
Why was it
more
just
in
mine?
detail. I wish I would have known.
I've been Winnie the Poohing it this whole time.
Why do you think I was so polite,
Guys,
guys?
it's a poo joke and irrelevant. It's so good. It's so good. Way too meta. Way too meta.
All right, you get inspiration for that. Wait, we really didn't have pants?
I want my paint.
Pants.
So confusing.
Now
They're like the same thing.
Okay, so if you
Emotionally.
Since both of you had a concern to find your belongings, roll history to see if you can remember, like, the way you were brought here wasn't in a way that was easy to remember where you've come from, and you
I want to get in on this too.
you didn't see
I need
your
my
stuff
stuff.
get taken and where it
I
was.
was brought in a bag.
Yeah.
16.
5.
Good roll.
6.
Woo.
Okay, with a 16, you have a sense of where, like, you know buildings decently well, and
You know.
You've been in buildings.
you have building proficiency, right?
I mean, I work in the city.
You have a proficiency in the indoors, yes?
It's actually a really useful proficiency. No, yeah, you were kind of like paying attention as they brought you in, and you didn't see exactly where stuff was put, but you saw sort of a holding closet off to the side where you expect you'd be able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
You know that this was like so you guys were taken down a level underneath this fortress.
Okay.
And side note, for those of you who were conscious or not in a potato sack when you were brought to this building, you know that you are in Northgate Fortress. This is the northernmost tip of the city. This is a military outpost, and you were in the dungeons underneath that military outpost. This isn't going to be necessarily an abandoned place, a place where you could easily sneak out, especially if you're going up through the common area, which that's where the room was that you saw.
I have a question. Does my city secrets ability help in here?
So remind me exactly what that is.
It says, I know the secrets and patterns and flow to cities and can find passages through urban sprawl others would miss. I don't know if that counts for the prison, but...
I'll say you can have advantage to ability checks that apply to like navigating this particular building. So if you were looking for something, trying to perceive, you were trying to hide, like whether investigation, that would be looking for something. All of those sorts of checks, you'll get advantage on because of that ability.
So that last one?
Yeah.
Should I roll again?
What are you rolling for?
I rolled a 6 before. Can I roll, like, if I
Oh,
get
yeah,
I roll
yeah.
again?
Go ahead.
Is the stuff location that I am vaguely aware of in the same direction as the exit I am likely equally aware of?
Yes. You don't know of any other entrance or exits to this place. It's a fortress. You bet they're hard to find if there are any. But there is one main entrance that is basically like the fortified front gate of this fortress.
Okay.
Just for mechanical purposes, as my red rage probably is ended by now. It's been a minute, and/or didn't attack a creature in my last turn.
Yeah, you were riding the edge
Yeah.
of losing your rage the entire time you were knocking over open doors.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's subsided.
Okay.
Do you have favorite enemy lock?
Lock Hunter.
Okay, guys, if you want
That's your new
stuff, we
subclass.
should go that way.
Yeah, so we head towards the exit /stuff.
But there's gonna be people.
We should send someone out, like, I don't know, one of the people that are fucking rogues. To go look.
Go ahead, little man.
Okay.
So you guys are walking out of the shattered door.
Oh, but it made a noise.
Yeah,
we should
we're
probably
not.
run.
Yeah, there's.
we should run.
Yeah,
I don't know
that
that's a good idea,
sneaking
too, yeah.
is really
Not a
necessary
rule
at this
breaker,
point.
guys.
I also don't think Bernard's gonna come back if we let him
Like,
go.
having an existential crisis, like, right now?
He's very scared.
I thought Chase was having an existential crisis.
No.
You can't break the rules.
This is my first lawful character, guys.
We should run from this room because they're probably on their way, and we could find.
Wait. What's the range on illusion? 30 feet. Damn, never mind. I'm gonna make an illusion of the door being fine as we run.
And all of us in the cells.
And the smoke is just gone.
Why can't I breathe?
I try to suck down all the smoke. I'm probably
thing you
okay.
can do?
I'm probably okay. I breathe fire. Like,
I made
It's just
you.
the
I will
result of
consume
the thing.
Yeah.
Alex.
He just
Go
starts
in.
wheezing.
I'm just like,
It turns out the door was made from weed.
Hi,
I'm just
Cool, man.
like, I actually just want to go back into the cell. Just chill.
Alright.
Who's got a Marley record?
So are we booking it?
I say we book it. They're gonna come to this room any second now.
I agree with Lo.
We just book it.
We're booking it.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys
Correct.
go out into the hallway.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for that.
Well, there's
aren't you?
nowhere
What
else to
happens
go.
when we
What
We're-
happens when we
I
go
wasn't
into the
sure if you
hallway?
guys were
I'll
still...
go.
We're
No,
in the
we're going in the
hallway.
hallway. What
Find
happens
someone
then?
large.
Okay, so as you guys step into the hallway, across the way, that was just the wall to the hallway, and the hallway splits off left and right from that door.
Mm-hmm.
Roll perception. Everyone who's proficient.
Oh,
You're not proficient?
nope. I actually took a minus to wisdom intentionally because I don't want to look at anything.
Perception.
22.
Oh, what's up?
Unnatural 20.
Okay.
You plebeian.
It's not nearly as good as ours.
I got 14.
So those of you who've rolled basically above a 10, you will, and those of you who rolled higher than
He
a
doesn't have
20
to
or
discount
at
it.
20, you guys immediately notice a figure standing at the edge of the hall, like 20 feet down. So a little bit of a distance, so you can't see in full detail exactly who it is. But there's just a lone figure standing there at the edge of the hallway. There are a few scattered doors down off to the right, left and right as you go down the hall. But again, at the end of that hallway is just a blank stone wall, and he's just standing against that wall. The figure is dressed in black, dark hair pulled back and down, a light dark, he doesn't have a full beard. It's kind of light facial hair, but it's the same dark brown as his hair. And he is kind of wearing like a black cloak, and he has two short, like curved swords, almost daggers, in each of his hands. And he's just staring down the hallway at you guys.
With that perception roll, would I have enough time to flash the Sons of Demon sign? Like Thieves Can't style, like...
Yeah, you can flash that sign.
Does he do anything?
He kind of like...
It's not like I'm like, hey man, what's up? Like, it's like nonchalant. Like you would know it if you see it, but most people wouldn't see it. Like
When you throw the like.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, why don't you do it? Like no, that's a terrible
That's
idea.
exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
I wasn't going to say anything, but...
We've been playing the game this whole time.
Like literally.
A game within a game.
He kind of like cocks his head to the side a little, and
A bit of lit.
a bit of lit. And he kind of like smirks, but that's all you get.
Is our stuff the other way?
You think so?
I think so.
Esteban thinks that the way to the front gate is the other
And
way.
stuff.
Is a different direction?
Yeah, it's the other way down the hall.
Yeah, I would know the way to the gate.
Is he running towards us? Is he doing
He's just
anything? Just
standing
standing there?
Can I see if
Would I know the way to the gate?
okay,
No.
we roll and see if we
Okay. Shit, I'm
recognize
slick.
it?
I don't know
Or
where to go,
know
guys.
if I... What is that? Is that a history?
Go ahead and Yeah, I guess history's fine.
Let's get you different dice.
Here, use this one.
No.
You can use the huge
Oh,
one.
guys, I put it down. I put
To
it
see
down.
if you
Look what it
recognize
happened.
him?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a 7 for me.
That's a weighted dice.
You don't.
I put it down and it landed on the 2.
Can I
so
make
good.
a quick insight check to see if I get a vibe from this guy?
Dude, it's the dice.
I think it's.
Oh no,
God.
it's the dice! Dude, you can't use that.
Oh dang! All right.
Yeah, no, it's dead. It's dead.
Oh, now
I have a 0 to insight, but that's a 19.
Wow. Okay.
Try this one.
Bye bye.
I
As much as I
got
love you,
it's
you're
just-
very cool
Oh
looking.
my gosh,
No
I have like 3 now.
You guys are as superstitious as the RNI.
Dude, I just
No, no,
rolled,
no.
I just rolled
Twos.
3. There were 3 times. 2 of them were 2s.
And I rolled 3 2s in a row, and when I just put it down, it was a 2.
You did roll a lot of 2s.
I rolled
Just
3
saying.
2s in a row, and then I
Just
put it
saying.
down, and it ended up being a 2, and then he rolled 3.
Before I was just stitious, but now I am.
Superstitious.
Hey, before we die by the dude,
Dave Navarro.
Wait, what did you?
David Blaine.
Yeah.
Can we go to the back? Can we take a break?
I kind of have to go to the bathroom. too.
Yeah.
But wait, I
Bernard
wanna
Is
go-
is
this
Bernard's just-
in-game?
Wait!
Hold on.
My chamber pot! I
never
gave
got
it
it
away! I gotta go use it!
Yeah.
Wait, what was David's
Cool.
insight?
I rolled a 19.
Well, it's a cliffhanger.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Diving back in. So,
Y'all ready to die?
you guys are in the hallway. There's a mysterious figure at one end. The other end seems to be, well, only one of you really knows, seems to be the way back to the...
I did announce that. I said, hey guys. we should
Okay,
switch.
so you guys know that is...
But I also don't see the figures, so.
what was your perception?
I thought you was only one of you were proficient.
Oh, okay. Well, judging by like the body language of how other
Okay.
people
We're all
have turned
looking.
and
I
stared
was
at
the
him,
other way.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey. Oh.
you've now picked up. Oh, there's a figure, so
Cool.
you're aware.
Great.
So what do you guys do?
19 on my insight check.
Right, that was the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So
He seems mad.
no, actually, he's amused. He's actually like pretty interested in what's just happened. He's seen a door like as far as you know, he's been standing there for a little while. And at least long enough to see a door bust open and just like cold and some fire like spill out into the hallway.
One would say
Would
fire
there
and
be
ice,
like a
maybe.
lot of like steam and we look like really badass?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
slow mo. Did we
Do
just
we need
come
a
out
roll?
slow
Do we need a roll for slow-mo?
you don't get the sense that he's
15
overly
for slow.
impressed, but just that he's amused and he's enjoyed what's just unfolded.
Rad, let's give that dude finger guns and peace.
I feel like if you're
much.
using a bad
I don't know the way out though. It's all on you guys.
Yeah, out is this way.
So you guys go the other way?
But also there's gonna be like guards.
Should we
this
ignore?
way.
I like 13-year-old blue-haired Bernard goes, and then yeah, I follow that.
So have you guys already started walking? Because he's actually begun to walk towards you
I think
guys.
we're running. I'm running.
Fucking
Realistically,
See
I don't know
ya.
what it is. I'm taking off. I gotta.
We don't have any weapons or anything.
Yeah.
Just hold swords. Like
He calls out. He says, "Hey, don't leave."
Yeah, okay. That's See ya.
Roll for persuasion.
That wasn't convincing to me either.
Lucas is gonna say, "Oh, do you live here?"
He says, "I don't, but I can help you out."
That's persuasive.
Guys, I think he knows how to go around here. Maybe better than us.
Insight check. Never done an insight check before, for reals. Oh, well, that's probably why I don't do those. 9?
He still has just like a playful look on his face, like
I don't
he
like how
thinks-
sexually charged this
like a
guy
cat.
is.
It's like a cat and mouse playful look.
a bit maybe.
Okay, I say we run. This is like I've
He
been ordered
says-
to murder you, and you.
Yeah.
He says, "You guys can go that way. You're not going to get out that way." As he says that, 3 more figures walk out from behind the 2 corners where he was standing, staring into the hallway. They are 3 bugbears. Tall, furry, well-armored bugbears.
Wait, are bugbears sentient?
They are.
Yeah.
I know they're
They're
sentient.
playable
Sapiens.
Has.
They're a playable
No,
race.
yeah,
And-
yeah,
okay.
you can be
Yeah.
bugbear.
And
they talk.
they-
Have we ever seen a
Sweet.
bugbear?
The way that they're, yeah, actually, most of you probably haven't seen a bugbear.
I ended up here because I was hunting one.
Yeah, so
You were hunting a sentient creature?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Lash may be the only one who has seen a bugbear.
And
Does he
like,
pull out his musket and go, ah, cheerio?
no, I'm just like,
Ahuka would have seen a bugbear.
Probably.
actually.
I have kind of like a wistful look, like, oh, if I had my weapons.
Thinking of the one your father has on the wall at home.
So he's being like flanked by.
I have one of their hands in my
Are
pack
there,
because that's
is
the
their
trophy
armor,
from the animal that I killed.
have the same symbol on it as what's her face?
You do not see the symbol of Lonnath or Irden on their armor.
Any symbol?
No symbols.
Okay,
And the way that the bugbears kind of like walk up is they're kind of like flanking him, like as if they are, like it's his posse. Like these are his men.
Okay,
His boys.
I changed my mind then because I know that Lonnath would never employ
Bugbears.
Mm.
So I take him seriously now.
I follow Lil.
Are these your friends? These are my friends.
Right. So you were talking about his bugbears?
Yes.
He says, friends, sure.
Yeah, me too.
You've got some interesting friends there. Very interesting. And I'm very curious, but we should go. And I do have to say, thank you for doing half my job for me. This way. He kind of leads you to follow, and he goes ahead of you with one of his bugbears, and the other two wait on either side of the hallway to let all of you file behind to follow.
These are very polite bugbears.
You get the sense that they're
Are they normally not polite?
No.
Oh.
They smell kind of bad.
As
You want to be a little louder about that?
They
there,
smell
bud?
really bad.
That's not what I meant.
as Tehran like walks by
You can smell
the
anything.
bugbear in the
around.
hall. This one kind of like he's got sort of a darker fur, like more brown than tan, and he just like stares at you and goes as you walk by. Just grunts.
Then
at
you feel a mace in the back of your skull.
It hits
Why
his
are
rocky
these guys
spine.
sexually charged? I don't like it.
I think the common denominator is Bernard.
I'm okay with that.
Well, like, what do you mean by that? It's
I'm
Bernard.
13 years old on purpose. I got one joke, guys. Come on.
So you guys follow the figure as him and his bugbear lead the way.
I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Luca
No, but
does.
Esteban lag.
Yeah, why not?
He's
Lags.
nervous. He's
Okay.
like, I don't have any better option.
The bugbears there's two trailing behind,
Okay.
and if you begin to lag, they're kind of prodding you. They have
Cool.
morning stars, big maces with spikes on the end.
Okay.
And they kind of prod you to hurry. You guys make a few turns and then come up to a grate on the ground, like a sewer drain sort of thing. And
That's mediocre.
the figure in black motions to the bugbears, and they lift the grate. Two of them just like lift it,
How heavy does it
pull
look?
it aside.
Does it look like manhole cover, like heavy, but one of us could lift it, or no? This is insane.
You get the sense that this is a struggle for these two bugbears.
Got it.
And so it's quite heavy.
Yeah.
But you get the sense they've done this before. And they pick it up, set it down, and then the figure in black says, "Down we go." And he jumps in. You hear a small splash, as if there's a little bit of water or something down there. And then it doesn't sound like he's fully submerged, but just that he hit like a puddle. And then you hear footsteps. The next bugbear jumps in, follows, and then do you guys jump in?
Yep.
I'm just gonna jump in.
I smell it first. What does it smell like?
It smells like a sewer.
I don't know how you can smell anything. I'm covered in shit. I've been walking with you the entire
I
time.
have a very refined palate.
Yeah, I jumped down.
Cool.
I don't know.
Cool. All you
Yeah,
guys
I'll
jump down. As you get down
Bernard does not. No, I'm just kidding.
there, it's a bit warmer down there. It's
I wonder why.
Don't light a match.
And
How deep is the water?
It's
Yeah.
like not even ankle. It's like a puddle. That's just
So it's
like
like halfway up your body,
How deep is the water?
it's like up to your shin.
Okay.
But like lotion. It's not very high at all.
Like lotion.
Lotion.
Oh, I was like,
It's-
wait,
yeah.
what?
You feel very moisturized.
I'm gonna just rub it all over me.
You probably
seem
are.
to-
Actually, she
Yeah.
is gonna rub it all
All
over.
over you.
She's.
It's probably cleaner than you are.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's
yeah,
taking the
it's
clumps
something
off,
like
right?
singing, like,
Yeah.
you got the
Taking
poop
the
off.
She's- yeah.
Clean off.
So as you guys drop down in there, and you like this is a tube, sewer tunnel, and as the first few of you drop in, you hear a sort of like noise of metal on metal, and then a bright light kind of comes out of the hands of both the bugbear and the man in black, and kind of illuminates that tunnel. It's coming from a ring on their fingers. Each of them have a similar ring.
Did they Wonder Twin powers?
They didn't tap each other's rings. You don't know what caused the noise
Okay.
because it happened in the dark. But you guys, he kind of like stops, looks back as you guys are one by one dropping into the sewer drain, and then he kind of moves ahead a bit, one of the directions, with his bugbear, and kind of motions for you guys to move further into the tunnel. And then the last two bugbears drop in, and then they pull the grate back closed. It falls, seals you guys in, and they too, you see them kind of like tap the rings on their fingers, and they illuminate, and then the figure in black begins to lead you down a long sewage corridor. You guys
Did we go outside and in, or no? They like were in a grate from within the fortress.
in the fortress.
Okay.
I cast light on my belt just because, like, I could do it too.
Cool.
Not that cool.
Do you want to make an Arcana check on the rings?
Yeah, actually, I do. Not that I've studied magic, you know. I'm really bad at these Arcana checks. Actually, no, I don't have any to it. So that's a 6. That's 5. That's 5.
Yeah, so you get the sense that the rings probably function in a similar way to your spell.
Looks like magic.
I just kind of want to show, like, I'm not impressed.
You're like,
Whatever.
I'm pretty sure that's magic. Great. So you guys are. Yeah, so you guys travel for a while, and then you come out. You see like some light at the end of the tunnel, and as soon as some light appears, they turn off their rings basically and just keep heading toward that light. Yeah, after another few minutes of walking toward that light, the tunnel kind of opens up into a cavern, as if you've left the man-made sort of sewage tunnel, and you're now in a natural cavern. And he turns around to you guys. You guys can all stand up right now. It was a little cramped in that tunnel, and actually, those who are proficient, roll perception for me.
Literally everyone.
11.
21.
13.
Oh no, 23. Sorry.
Okay,
I got 21.
cool. So those of you 20 and up, you smell salt in the air. You get the sense that this cavern is near the sea, that you guys, whatever direction you were going underneath the tunnel, it's led you out toward the coast. And the cavernous floor beneath you guys begins to turn a little sandy, and after a few more curves through the cavern, you actually see daylight and the ocean. So you guys are in sort of an ocean cavern that apparently is hidden pretty well under the city of Lonnath in the cliffside. And he motions for everyone to stop, the man in black. And he kind of like scouts around as if he knows the best lookout points for this particular cavern. And then he turns back to all of you and he says, "That went surprisingly well. That's about the cleanest breakout we've had in a year, eh, Munch?" He turns to one of the bugbears. The bugbear kind of like looks at him and goes, kind of grunts. That particular bugbear, kind of like not interested in what's about to occur, kind of begins to walk and scout and begins sniffing about as if he's trying to detect anything off. The man says, "Well, let's get to work. You must be wondering who the hell I am." He kinda like,
It did cross my mind.
Yeah.
well, that's only natural. He says, "My name is Brada." Just pausing for effect.
I kill him.
He says, "Pleasure to meet you all. Now, I am very curious. What the hell are you?"
Oh, we're doing this again. Okay.
Why, I'm Kurlash Mandarek, my good man. All my friends call me Lash, and I do hope that we'll be friends.
That's a very interesting thing you just said. Now,
Well, thank you.
Wow.
I've not seen a lizard man like you. What
Oh,
do
it is Dragon Man, or
Dragon?
Dragonborn, more properly speaking.
That is
but
a
yes.
dragon? I thought they would be bigger.
It's a bit complicated, but something like that.
It's not a dragon.
That is positively uncouth, young man.
Yeah. What's uncouth?
Gross.
Yep. I think so too.
He's kind of just like seems mildly annoyed, mildly entertained.
Only mildly. I'll step back.
I would be remiss in not asking, not holding up much hope, but have you happened to come across my manservants, Wriggleby, Thumbworth, Rabbitford?
As you say the names, he gets like a smirk on his face. He's like, "Did you make those up?"
No. What do you mean? Those are my loyal manservants.
Roll persuasion.
This is all true.
That's right. You're trying to persuade him it's true.
17.
He says, "All right, I don't think I understand what that means, but you don't seem like the kind to lie, I suppose. Well, this is a very interesting find." He looks next at the little goblin. He's like, "What's your name?" "No, you."
Oh, I'm Luca.
"Luca." Very interesting.
It's the really common name for goblins.
No, I've known a few goblins. You seem different though.
Thank you.
Where did you meet a goblin?
I've been
He hangs out with bugbears.
So
That's what those are?
As you say,
Oh, yes.
As you say, he hangs out with bugbears. He like turns to you and he's like, "Huh. Very interesting.
Thanks.
What's going on with your skin?"
It's made of dirt.
That's rude. You're not supposed to ask people that.
It's like a condition.
Why'd you break us out of prison if you have no idea who we are?
Well, I mean, this is what I do. I'm a collector.
Break random people out of prison.
I mean,
I'm a
it's a
collector
job.
of sorts.
I'm not a fan of being collected.
Well, it's probably better than the alternative.
Did you happen to collect
Usually
our
is.
I was
Yeah.
collected either way, so it's kind of neither here nor there for me, but that's fine.
Your things.
I had a sword and a shield and also 3 manservants.
Well, what were their names again?
Wrigglesby, Thumbworth, Rabbitford.
Did you say
Prada, those are definitely made up names.
rabbit's foot?
Rabbitford.
Rabbit's foot.
I agree, Rabbitfoot.
Rabbitford. It's
Not very lucky, was he?
a place name, you know. Like,
He says,
his ancestral village. of
He
rabbit
says-
foot.
Dragon Man, I definitely do not have your men.
Well, that's a shame.
But
They were good men,
I assume
loyal and true.
these belongings, they're probably kept up in the keep.
One would imagine.
I think I know where they are.
Capital.
He motions to the two other bugbears, not Munch, who's out scouting, but the other two. He says, to the armory, what all are you missing?
A lot of gold, like big
Even horses.
Then what is the most valuable thing?
Pieces of platinum.
A crown with diamonds.
So, as Bernard says that, he kind of looks at you, he's like, I like you.
No, but seriously.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I had a sword and a shield, and again, they're probably not in the armory, but again, 3 manservants. About yay high.
What do they look like?
Like humans, I don't know. You to be
You want them so bad. Why don't you know what they look
it's
like?
a bit hard to tell. Your
ahead.
faces are
Sometimes
so
Say it, just say it. Just say it.
so mammalian. It's difficult. I don't mean to be insensitive, but
You were hunting one of those.
I didn't tell you that.
Did you say you were?
That's
you
OC.
did.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure you
No,
said
you-
you
Oh, shoot! I did tell you. Oh no!
Did you just loudly say that he was hunting
I had no
bugbears?
idea what an owlbear
In
was
a-
until like 5 minutes
in-
ago.
Bugbear.
Bugbear.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I said. Owlbear.
With that little bit of information told, he kind of like gives you another look. He says, hunting?
Just, I mean,
For sport.
well, I mean,
You said it was for sport. For sport. I don't know what that means.
I don't think I said for sport. Point of
I don't
order,
know.
but
I have some way.
Good stuff.
Thanks. We'll get to that.
Okay.
I need my tools back.
I surreptitiously try to like
Interrupt.
rearrange my like satchel so that there's not obviously a large hand pressed against the
Owlbear.
It's a bugbear hand, yeah.
That's what I said. Hey, do you need something from us from getting us out? Because my shit's not that great. I'd much rather just go.
No,
I didn't think so. What do we have to do?
we'll just stay. My men will.
Again, with the sexualization of everything you say, man, it's really starting to get to me.
He
I
says,
think you're putting that in case really normal.
13. Go ahead. Sorry, I'll shut up.
he says, well, he collects the information of all your various belongings. He says, you guys get that? The two bugbears kind of like grunt. And then they
And some snacks.
run off. And he says, yeah, get some snacks too. And the bugbears run off. And he just, he says, no, you may have guessed I've done this before.
But he told us.
Yeah,
Who do you work for?
that's a good question. I'm not going to tell you. But I will tell you that I own you. You all belong to me now. And I'm going to take you back to headquarters, and I'm going to train you.
Okay, was that just me or was that overtly sexual?
Train us to do what?
Well, you may have various skills, strengths, and we'll figure those out and we'll find places for you. But we have big plans. You could say we're going to take advantage of the current situation.
Anything about advantage or
Advantage
Zoning thing.
is maybe like an airplane service. No?
What?
Advantage? What is it?
Airplane.
I say,
Telephones?
United Atlantics.
okay, wait.
Yeah, flea prevention.
I'm good on that.
I'm not.
I'll wait till. So I'm gonna say that I already have an employer, and I don't think they'll be too happy.
Do you?
I do.
Who's that?
find a sign.
I
Some
looked
very
at it.
powerful people.
Very,
It's very powerful people in the city.
powerful enough to break you out of prison, even.
Do you guys work for the same people?
Who do you work for? Or who are you?
No, probably not the same people you work for.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh God.
I was just commenting on you threatened me with you work for powerful people,
I
but
do.
they didn't break you out of prison. That was me.
I broke the door.
Yeah, you kind of
Oh, I
didn't
saw
break
that.
us
I broke all the
out.
locks. All of them.
And I helped.
I did most of the work.
I believe that.
Shit covered in
I didn't even want to come, but here we are.
Well, I broke out because I didn't want to start at the bottom at some magic school after I worked my ass off to get to the top of my current job. And now I have to start at the bottom at whatever your thing is?
Is it a magic school?
Who's to say you'll start at the bottom?
Okay,
If you,
now I'm
have,
listening.
if you have ambition and you have skill, well, there will be a place for you.
Great.
You just think
But is it a magic
No,
school?
okay. You convinced me.
Like with like an enclave of maybe some druids, or you know some things about that, maybe, I don't know.
Vuka, you say some very interesting things.
Think of-
Yeah, I am quite entertained.
I'm well read.
You can read? Whoa.
The two bugbears actually come back much faster than you thought they would. All of your weapons and gear, like basically in their packs and in their hands, and
riding on their shoulders.
Oh shit, we
Three
need the
man
checkpoint,
servants.
guys.
there are no manservants.
I just like the idea, like one of them is coming out with like two on each shoulder, and one of the other one's like piggybacking the last.
There are no
It's like C-3PO. They're completely useless. Like, they're not fed for themselves at all.
Yeah, no. According to the rules, it's like they won't fight for you, and if they get in a dangerous situation, they'll run away.
I'm assuming their employer getting imprisoned in a foreign country would be a thing. we
No,
could
like they were trying to help get me out. Apparently, like we established that.
That's what you
They're like
thought.
it that much at least.
Yeah,
So
I'm very good to them.
What's our other option if we politely decline?
Actually, sorry. Before
Oh, awkward.
you can say that, but before we go there, can you guys describe what these bugbears are handing back to you? Your actual gear, not the gold that you claimed.
I was about to do that joke.
That would have been a good goof.
I have 4,000 gold.
Weird. I have standard rogue stuff. I got a rapier, some daggers, a short bow.
Yeah, I have a
Active
short
these
bow,
two.
a short sword, 2 throwing daggers, and then a bunch of. I think I have a rogue bag
Yeah, we got like packs
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
and my cool cloak.
They got that for you.
Bernard is very jealous.
Did they actually? Were they able to take anything from me? Did they take anything from me, or was
You
everything in the
had
bag with me?
a sickle.
Yeah, I have a sickle and a scimitar.
Yeah. So those two weapons they would have taken, and now you're being handed them back.
Okay, I pick up my stuff and I say thank you, but I have a job to finish, and I walk away.
A job, huh?
Yes.
He says after you. He kind of, his eyes flick over to Munch, who's staring straight at him, and he says, his eyes go back to you and he says, I don't think you understand the situation. You're not leaving.
Can I like roll?
I roll away.
I roll my leave check.
You can try to keep leaving, or you can stay, or you can talk.
Okay, fine. I ask him. Well, he's already said he just wants us to join his.
Mhm.
Okay, I ask him again to clarify.
You have to have a price.
Yeah.
We must be
Like,
with
what
something
is
to
it
you.
exactly you want us to do?
Whatever I tell you to do.
No.
As I said, I own you.
That's a kind of a charged word. Own is a little bit much.
Hashtag trigger.
Maybe.
This is not a very woke place, just in general.
This is
Fair.
the political correct confidence level here is
It's
very
like
low.
minimal.
Forever?
Well, I mean, there are circumstances in which we would let you walk free. But,
What are those?
Such as?
I mean, they would become apparent. It would be mutually
We have to
beneficial.
become a parent.
Oh, it's my parents. That wasn't canon.
Nice.
He says, I'll be your dad.
Oh!
Okay, I like that.
Bernard, you were right.
Not canon, that was a joke. He didn't say it.
Bernard, I under everything
Thank
now.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all just
Lash like starts retching, but like sparks come out.
One of the bugbears is like, fireworks.
Oh, no.
All of that was not canon.
Does it? This is gonna sound stupid, but now that we have our weapons back, thank
Can
you.
we fight
Yeah.
them off?
Do we look like we could take these people?
Yeah, why
Or
would they bring
are
us
these
our
probably
weapons?
not.
I feel like if they brought us our weapons, they probably don't think that there's much of a chance that we could fight them.
Yeah, like I want to metagame and look up the challenge rating of a bugbear, but
Bugbears are they're pretty bad news.
You could try to look up anything you wanted, but
He's gonna make it to the start.
yeah.
you also don't have a sense of
Well, that's what I'm
who
asking.
this man in black is.
Sure, but like
Is he
I
West
feel
I
like
live on
I
the
just
streets,
feel like
like-
I
sounds
mean-
aliens and is friends with an old guy.
You took it a different
Where were you going?
Princess Bride, Wesley.
Oh god.
He's not a pirate.
Oh, I just thought it was Dave Navarro. That's what I've been picturing. You
He's a-
don't know who Dave Navarro is?
He's a
He doesn't
guitarist.
exist in this world.
That's probably
He's
true,
Satan.
but
I guess we'll go with you then.
I have no
So-
choice.
Now, did you bring snacks?
Are you still walking
You
away?
did not meet our demands.
Oh yeah, I would follow low.
Away?
Yeah.
Sure.
You're still leaving?
We're gonna die.
I, as like a player, like, no, that's probably a bad idea. But I feel like, yeah, my character would be like, no, I'm not just gonna go with these random people I just met. I've been sent here on a job. I'm a very high up member of this, you know.
But, like, maybe you could
Powerful.
pretend. Vuka.
Wait, are you
Is
gonna
that
take
a
us
character?
away, or can we keep our previous allegiances? Or are we like?
I
Are we your prisoners?
own you.
Yeah, I don't
now.
know.
I feel like he's being very clear that yes.
Okay, I'm gonna assign to you, like, let's go along for now. Because I'm, like, pretty sure that people are coming for us.
What are they doing with their hands?
Nothing.
You can't. No, like these can't. Is in
Yeah.
such a way that like you wouldn't be able to tell.
yeah.
That's the idea. Hey,
It's not just
the
like
rules
sign
are written in a
language.
particular. Yeah, we're.
Guys,
Yeah, no,
what
it's,
is
like,
happening?
it's like single words. So she would say something like, follow, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna follow your lead, kind of thing.
So turn back around. And I ask if we're
Roll perception. Both of you.
7.
Oh wow.
That's good. Well,
Ooh, I rolled 2.
I
So-
rolled
You guys are
a
so sneaky.
7. Hey, this is perception. We're sneaky. We just can't
The
see
man in
shit.
black has a big smile on his face as he's watching both of you.
Wait, we're rolling perception or
Perception.
Perception.
You're observing a big smile.
Okay.
Did you bring at least some snacks?
I have snacks.
What kind of snacks?
He pulls out his pack and
It's a Cliff Bar.
he tosses you some dried meat. It's mutton.
Ugh, this has been dead for a very long time.
Says, well, I don't have anything raw. Sorry. Puts his pack back on.
I know
There she
you
likes fingers.
said that you own us. Can I say bye to my girlfriend?
Oh no! No!
No. Well,
Wait.
where is she?
We have an apartment that we're renting near.
Back in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Can I send her a letter?
Ask me again in a month.
Are we going?
I don't think
somewhere?
she'll wait that
Oh,
long.
we're going.
oh, geez. Faithful girlfriend.
Oh man.
You're probably better off than that.
This got
That is
real fast.
I start to feel a little bad.
I offer her some jerky.
He takes the jerky.
Wait, how long was your hair before?
Oh, he had like a ponytail.
Oh, so you've for sure got like tan line, like you're white up there. Yeah.
Are you wearing
awesome.
like a hat?
No.
I'm loving it. Okay, sorry. I need that mental picture.
He's also like really close to crying now.
Yeah,
It's
like
been a really
almost
hard
crying,
day.
super clingy, bald with the white. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Taking that jerky and dabbing away some that actually rehydrates the meat a little bit.
Oh,
Give him some of that now.
So, staying, going. He looks at both of you.
I'm
I
just
like
like
it.
I'm standing behind her. Like
I look at the bugbears,
you could take them.
and then I say, "Okay."
Great. Off we go then.
And I stab him in the back.
Do you really?
No.
Because I really like Bernard.
Maybe not.
So he leaves the cavern, leading you guys, same sort of formation. Him and Munch at the front, the two other bugbears at the rear, making sure you guys are all in line. He's sneaking, like he's making sure to be stealthy. He doesn't like. He has a sense of that like there could be danger, and he's being very attentive to detail. And I need all of you proficient in perception to roll perception check.
This guy's going to jail.
16.
11.
9.
God, 10.
With a 16, you see that the man in black has noted something and kind of motions out to the sand for Munch to see, you think. And you notice at the point where he is indicating that there are like a fair, maybe like 5, it's hard for you to tell, you don't know this track very well, but there are hoof prints heading in the northward direction, the same direction you guys are going. But you see that he has pointed that out, and you observe it as well.
We're going north along the coast.
North along the coast.
It's not a footprint that I would recognize, like a track that I would recognize.
You wouldn't be able to tell it very well, but you could tell it was a large hooved animal.
Okay.
So you guys are heading up the coast. I need everyone to roll stealth checks if you're trying to be stealthy.
Trying to wonder would it be better to behoove us to not be stealthy?
I guess I can try.
If you guys are trying not to be stealthy, you get the sense that because all of those who are leading you are trying to be stealthy, if you are like overtly being not stealthy, they might like jab you with their clubs.
Got 17.
Wow.
Because I have
That's an
disadvantage
A.
because of my chainmail, I went from a 16 to a critical fail. So
Walking on the
So
sand is hard.
tell me how you're critically failing stealth.
This is going to be a reoccurring theme, isn't it?
yeah, I'm trying to concentrate on being stealthy, and then to concentrate, I start humming, and then gradually that humming becomes a piercing whistle. I'm just like.
But your armor is super quiet.
Yeah, no, that's on lock, but like in the Hall of the Mountain King, just crescendoing.
I gotta assume those
Dragon
big fire-breathing
whistle
lungs.
But by the end, I'm like inadvertently just so into it that I'm making like gestures.
Still, silent armor. Just completely silent.
Yeah, I just oiled the chainmail, so it's very like smooth and
Pristine.
yeah.
You feel a heavy club in the back of your neck, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. What is my con save? 16.
Okay. Yeah, so one of the bugbears has come up and jabbed you hard with his club, and you take the hit and don't fall at all, but it's like deep bruise on your neck. And if he hit you a little bit at a different angle, that could have been some real damage. And he says, "Shut up."
Not what call for all that. I don't think.
Okay. And you guys go ahead for another, let's see. It's quite a bit of travel. They keep a decent pace for about an hour before Brada. Damn. Yeah, no. You guys knew his name.
Yes.
Yes. Straight up
I
told us.
forgot that
Yes,
he
we
introduced
do.
himself.
Yes, you did.
Because I kept saying the man in black. He puts up a fist as if stop, and the bugbears immediately stop. You guys follow a little more slowly, not being used to his way of traveling and signaling. Maybe everyone roll perception if you're proficient.
Never get to roll anymore.
Yeah.
Critical fail.
10.
16.
17.
Okay, so those who rolled higher than 15, you hear the sound of hooves coming down from the north. You don't see anything yet, but you hear them. Brada motions to the bugbears, and they go, all 4 of them, closer into the cliff, as if hiding among the rocks, and he kind of looks back and motions for all of you to get close to the cliffs. Do you all try to hide in the cliffs like they're doing?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone roll stealth
I don't
again.
feel like getting picked with a club.
Can I do my Mask of the Wild?
You do your what?
Can I do my Mask of the Wild? My hiding thing? What do we...
It doesn't necessarily apply here. It's not like... It just increases the amount of places that you could try to hide. So most people, if they were standing by a bush, couldn't try to hide because it's just a bush. It's not like dense forest or something like that. But you can use something kind of sparse like that, but is mildly obscuring to hide. So you have an advantage where you can hide in places where other people can't. The cliffs themselves have enough crevices in them where everyone is basically hiding in a similar way.
Okay, I don't get special bonus.
No bonus.
I'm critically failed.
What are we're
Your
rolling?
stealth. Okay.
You're made of sand.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Just
about
lie
that
down.
Is you actually go to trip, you go to hide and then you trip, and you just lay there on the sand, and then you realize, no, this is good.
Yeah.
I got 19.
Cool.
13.
16.
10.
Cool. So almost all of you are hidden among the cliffs. One of you is laying on the ground pretending to be a rock, which is actually surprisingly effective.
Yeah, I was going to say, that should work.
It's the only critical fail I'll ever have that actually went well.
And the horses get closer. You can see there's 7
They're going
riders.
to trample you now because you're just laying on the ground.
Can we tell what they're wearing? If they're wearing
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you wearing?
Roll me perception.
Yes.
Who are you wearing?
Who are you wearing?
Ooh, that's a 16.
18.
24.
18.
Unnatural 20.
Yeah, these, for those of you that rolled at this distance, it's higher than 15, you will notice that these are dressed in the colors and garb of Irden military. These are not guards, these are military. So they're decked out in heavy chainmail or plate mail, and they all have the symbol of the mounted and owl.
So what's the layout? Are we on a cliffside and they're below us?
So you guys are at the base of a sea cliff.
Mhm.
So the cliff on your right-hand side goes up, say 20, 25 feet, depending on where you're at. And then at the base of that cliff, there's sand until the ocean. And there's about 50 feet of sand until you get to the waves crashing.
Mhm.
And you guys have been hugging that cliff as you've traveled north along the coast. And there are places where the cliff goes in a bit, in little inlets. or like ramps up to the higher elevation.
So we're like hiding in crevices in the cliff, and they're running along the beach past us.
Yep.
I'm kind of debating if I should turn that out.
It's daytime now?
Why would you want the military to find you?
It was daytime when you
I was gonna be a
emerged.
prisoner.
You didn't know what time of day it was in the prison. You guys had been there for a couple days, and there was no light, no way to tell time. You guys guessed it was morning time about, for
Okay.
those of you who are keeping track, when the Pimentum agent came in and made judgments and collected information. After going out onto the beach, you guys think it's probably about like 11 at this point, after all the madness in the fortress, and now heading up the coast. It's about high noon.
Alright, so it's bright outside. Okay.
Yep.
And these guys are military. I mean, I would say the military are probably still not on our side.
Yeah.
Lesser two evils.
For you specifically, yes. The rest of us, almost definitely not.
I feel like I'm the only one who could like make it a good situation. I'm trying to decide if you
Yeah.
would.
They're gonna be like on top of you, not literally, but in like
Dang.
20 seconds.
The likelihood that they would kill people that don't look like them.
Pretty high.
Hi.
Pretty high.
But
Especially if
this
they've been
seems like a
notified of
patrol.
escaped
Yeah.
prisoners.
Oh, I realized my belt is still lit and I turn it off.
How long does the light spell last?
No idea, it's a cantrip.
I think it's like 10
Yeah,
minutes.
that probably was off much.
I think it's either 10 minutes or an hour.
Also,
It's
if
10 minutes or 1.
if Brada had seen
I think it's 10 minutes.
light coming from your belt at any point while we were still,
Yeah.
you were.
That's
would've
true,
gotten
that's
close.
true. I would have gotten a hit. In
In
that.
direct sunlight, it doesn't
Yeah.
shine that much.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
headlights.
it's an hour. Light's an hour.
Okay, I don't jump out.
Yeah, I stay.
I take Lil's lead.
Cool. So these horsemen, they're going pretty quick, not like full gallop, but slow enough to where they can take in some detail. And they actually pass, and then slow, and then turn back. And the leader rides straight up to a figure laying in the sand. And he kind of like leans off his horse a bit and he's like, "Is that guy dead? Hey, check him out." One of the soldiers jumps off the horse and goes and like looks at you and kind of like shakes you, feels for a pulse. He's like, "This guy's alive." The guy who like commanded the other guy to get off the horse, he says like, "Well, damn. We gotta get back. But I don't think we can leave this guy here. Put him on your horse." The guy goes to pick you up. Are you just staying limp?
I was just staying limp.
Okay, I see this happening and I'm just busting out and I tally ho!
Leroy Jenkins!
I just draw my sword and I start running over there.
I'm gonna go into a rage. And just get up and grab my axe and try to swing at the dude.
Okay. Wow, combat.
They saw me.
This guy dead.
I was hoping I wouldn't have a pulse.
I was hoping I wouldn't have a pulse.
It's just like a weird. Yeah,
rock.
it's
I'm
just
just like a human on the inside. I don't know.
On
You
the
just-
inside, but the skin is different.
you just have like
It's
weird circulating sand inside your veins, and they're just like, "What is this?" Like, feels weird.
Whatever it is, it's moving.
Yeah.
So you're like rushing at the guy that's trying to pick up
Yeah.
Thrawn. Okay. Everyone roll initiative.
I think I have 14.
Hey, me too.
I had a +3 to initiative, right?
Yeah, it's your dex mod.
Okay.
So we're probably going to not finish this, but let us begin. So we've got basically cliffs all along this side here. You guys were hiding in and among them. And then we've got
Call him with a knife. It's so ridiculous.
then we've got water. This is like where the ocean is.
Stab, stab.
So we're over here.
So you guys are all like here.
Wow, you're a large
basically.
13-year-old.
And Tehran is basically here, laying face first in sand.
And you rushed out?
Yeah, so somewhere around there.
And I don't have horses, but
They're all
Man, look at that Bieber hair on that guy.
horsed. Yeah, I'm gonna target him first.
He definitely did like a.
With the squirrels?
Yeah.
Is that guy dead?
Wait, that's a lot of guys. I thought it was 3.
Wait, I thought,
I think it was it 7?
Seven.
I wasn't sure if you said 5.
Oh, I like that there's a lady.
I thought that
though.
was way. I didn't agree to this.
That could be.
This one has glasses?
Yeah, she's a lady wearing glasses.
You're wearing
and
a
lipstick.
spectacle.
Yeah.
Monocle.
Monocle.
Yeah.
okay.
Alright, fair enough.
Close.
I didn't have time to curate these guys. So this is our Brada.
Oh, we were making fun of him
okay.
though.
The
Yeah, not
bugbears.
surprised. And then there's Munch, and we have another 2 bugbears.
Where they crunch and
We're
lunch.
in the back here.
Snap, crackle, and
I suppose
pop.
they were here, and then you guys are like
Okay.
there.
There's a dude on
And then the guy was there. Okay, so that's about what this looks like. And at this point, these guys have all popped off of their horses and
Pop it off.
ready. Okay.
Quick
so-
question.
Yeah.
Can the whole intervening time between when we were in the jail cell and now have counted for mechanical purposes as a short rest?
Why?
Just
Oh,
yes or no?
I knew this, damn it.
No.
Ah!
No. You guys were traveling through sewers and then in.
Yeah, we were walking the whole time.
in
We were resting for
conversation.
quite a while talking to Brada getting our
Yeah,
gear back.
that's
How
what
long
I'm
did it take him to
It's
get the
not
gear?
really resting when you guys are like
You're just standing there.
under duress of like, am I being
That's not the
abducted?
rest. Wait, how long did we wait for them to get our gear?
They were only
He
like
said it was surprisingly
30
quick.
minutes.
That's enough time.
That's
Short rest of an
half of
hour.
a that's half of a short rest right there.
And you guys, well, yeah, you guys.
And we
headed
talked
out
for
at
like
that
30
point.
minutes.
The short rest would have needed to be unbroken. No, you can't have
Crap.
No, you can't have
All right,
it.
this reduces me to hit with sword for my options.
But man, you set the door on fire.
Yeah,
it. Okay,
that's
so
true.
I need.
I'm really glad it didn't make its deck save.
Lash your initiative.
16.
Bernard.
That's an excellent question. 14.
Lil.
14.
Vuka.
4.
Wonderful.
Tehran.
16.
Esteban.
15.
Great. Now. Give me a moment while I do spreadsheet things.
Your favorite kind of things.
Very true.
This guy's got a
Nick
weird
Oaksa.
butt. It's got like a weird looking butt.
What is it?
Nigoksa.
What is that?
It's Heroescape.
Look at
It's a
his
character from Heroescape.
It's, doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Biologically.
I wish I had my Hero Forge thing. So, all right, as it turns out, Hero Forge has options for a pith helmet and monocle. So
I guess you're gonna need to
I'm
get
going.
a new one.
Well, yeah, I ordered one.
Hero Forge, please sponsor us.
The monocle didn't get added until I was looking at their options and saw that they had monocle.
You were like, yep.
The pith helmet was always part of it because like he's a big game hunter. He likes safari. But
Are you gonna paint it?
no, I got steel.
Nice.
I can't paint. My fingers are dumb.
All
You
right.
know, man.
Yeah.
Own it.
All right. So, Lash is up. Tehran is on deck.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna scoot right up and take a swing at that guy.
Okay.
13.
13 hits.
Okay. That was a bad roll. 5 damage, slashing.
Okay, so your weapon is a sword.
Yep. Yep, just a regular longsword.
Yeah, so you like come out screaming, or how do you like? You said tally ho.
Again, yeah, tally ho!
Yeah, this guy was like about to pick up what he thought was a corpse, and he's just like, oh my god. And there's a dragon man running at him, and you just slash him down the arm and chest and open up a big gaping wound. And
Jolly good.
Tehran is up. Esteban's on deck.
I already said I'm gonna go rage, but just in case, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna grab my axe. I'm gonna swing it at the guy. Oh, I'm gonna stand up first.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say.
gonna stand up. I'm gonna get really angry as I stand, and I'm gonna take my axe. I'm gonna swing it at the guy right in front of me.
Okay.
This is a D20. 24.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Cool. 10 damage.
Yeah, you stand up, swing that axe around, and how do you want to do it?
I wanna cut his left arm off, and then just chop it off.
Yeah. You bring that axe down, and it's straight through his arm. He screams and he says, "Oh, it's just a flesh wound." That's a joke. No,
That's
he
a
like
joke.
from the shock.
Bite
of,
your
like,
legs off.
He went from picking up a corpse to like slash arm is off of his body, like he's falling over in shock and starts to bleed out, and he's down. Anything else, Tehran?
I want to run at this guy. I'm gonna run at that guy, and I want to scream in his face and spit on him. Oh, full and
Can
funny.
you knock the dead dude over?
Oh yeah.
Nice, nailed it.
2
All right.
times.
So Esteban is up. Bernard is on deck.
I'm gonna delay my turn.
Okay. So just let me know when you're gonna pop back into the initiative order. Lil is up. Wait, no, Bernard is up. Lil is on deck.
Since we share initiative, do we go at the same time?
I've just arbitrarily decided your
Decided,
order.
okay.
But what's your dex?
They're the same.
Yeah, arbitrarily decided your order.
Okay.
Do you have sneak attack?
Yeah.
I have
I'll let you guys choose.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's okay. I can go. So just refresh me on the range again. It's 83-20, so I'm at or not advantage, at normal up to 80.
Past 80,
No.
you're at disadvantage.
From 80 to 320 is disadvantage. Past 320 is nothing.
No.
So I can go. How's that?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Past 80 would be a disadvantage.
Disadvantage up to
After that,
320.
you can't even shoot.
And then after 320 is
Yeah.
just okay. That's what I thought. Okay, so
It's 5 to 80.
yeah. Can I roll back, like, up the cliff, up the ways as far as I can go to still be within 80 feet of dude that Tehran is up against?
Yeah, it looks about right.
Okay, cool. And shoot him with my sharp bow?
Cool. Roll the attack.
Nope. That's a 1.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nice
you
jail.
you go to shoot that arrow, and it kind of like falls out of the bow, and you're like, shit.
Love that.
You're only 13.
It was actually the rubber tipped ones with the suction cup at the end anyways.
Yeah, it's Nerf.
Judgement nerf guard.
Nerf, please sponsor us.
No, but seriously.
So Lil is up, unless you have anything else, Bernard.
Oh, no, that's my turn.
Cool. Lil is up, and somebody else is on deck.
Okay,
Spoiler. Much.
so they're how far away?
Where is your mini?
Well, I'm over here.
So each hex is 5 feet. So if you have 30 movement, so you would probably need
And
to
you can
use
dash as a
your
bonus action.
dash as a bonus action because you're a rogue to make the distance. If you dash, you can make it to this guy.
Yeah, he's right.
Well, I
Oh.
don't want to go
That's
in the
right.
middle of combat.
It seems like such a good idea. until I realize.
Have they seen us? Like all of us?
They have basically realized that there are folks hiding in the cliffs.
Okay.
So any that emerge, they're not going to be surprised by, because they're ready for people to continue to pour out of the cliffs.
You can use your you can use your action to get up in their face, but
Just want to use
Probably
my
not the best idea.
short bow.
Yeah.
You can still get sneak attack and shoot that guy.
Yep.
Okay, can
You're
I?
hidden, right? So.
Well,
No,
no.
he's-
I
And
have,
he's
standing next
flanking.
to him.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I see.
yeah,
I
he
see.
has him
Yeah.
engaged.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
That's
use
right,
my
that's right,
short
that's
bow
right.
to attack. How does the
I'm
sneak
courting
attack
him
work?
realistically.
So
If you hit, you get to add another d6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
so just roll a normal ranged attack.
What do I roll first to see if I hit?
It's a
So
D20,
D20.
plus that to hit number.
Plus 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
7.
Wow.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Okay, so
Great class.
Level one.
yeah, you pull back that arrow and let it loose, and it kind of like wobbles and flies off to the side and misses the target.
I
Alrighty.
bet he's super stoked. We're his prisoners now. Joke's on you, sucker.
Okay,
Okay, so now the one giving orders.
Was the dude with the big mustache?
There's
Ah,
someone with
shit.
the-
Which
oh,
one's
this
that?
one's
This
got
guy's
the
got
big
the mustache.
mustache.
Okay, this is gonna be the guy then.
Wait, he has a mustache?
Yeah, big
look at
mustache.
I can't see from where I am.
Look at that! Look at that mustache.
Oh,
I'm
and
jealous
an
of
Urukai shield.
Lord of the Rings, please sponsor us.
Tolkien estate. Come on.
Amazon.
They drop everything.
So this guy runs up
Oh,
to
boy.
the closest guy to him, and
How many times are you gonna kill him?
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
If I had a collar, I'd do.
Do it, Bacall.
Is anybody else
Not
still in
really.
single
Sure.
digit hit point range?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Love
I
it.
mean, I wasn't.
does
Now you are.
Because someone kicked
Hey,
me.
look.
My
you're
maximum
dumb.
is in single
does an
digit.
11 hit your armor class?
No.
What's your max?
7.
Me too.
Really?
Does a 16 hit your armor class?
Yes.
Rose.
Okay, so he has
I have
a sword,
one
and he just
injured.
the first swing goes wide. The second one he slashes across your gut, and he does 6 damage.
I'm gonna drop that to a 3.
Yep.
I'm resistant to slashing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can tell he's just dropped into
Who loves
just
rage?
sort of like this is almost like second nature for them, just dropping into combat immediately, and he's ready to go. But he did miss his first attack. All right, so now these cool guys are gonna run toward various targets that they've seen. A couple of them run up to the bugbear. This one, or not the bugbear, the dragon man. This one actually had to use his dash action to get to you, so that'll only be one more attack. Okay, so we've got Tehran gonna take one more attack. Does an 18 hit your armor class?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You take 2 damage.
I take 1 damage.
Okay, now
Take 1 damage.
so now Lash has a single attacker making another attack. Does a 17 hit your armor class?
Nope.
Okay, so this guy comes down with his sword, and you got a shield, yeah?
Yeah.
So you just kind of like knock that blow aside, say that tally ho again, and
You don't know my catchphrases.
all right, you don't have to say tally ho.
You have
missed
to
me.
say.
Missed me. Is that seriously what you said?
No, it's not.
Really? That's where you're gonna go with?
No.
And then another of the military takes a swing at one of the bugbears, and he does not hit. Now, for the first time, Brada is dropping into the fight. He actually has a hand crossbow that he pulls out and fires at this one here.
I was using him as a shield.
In quick succession, he fires 2 bolts and that guy drops to the ground dead.
Number
Yep.
9?
4, I think.
4.
it was.
4, okay.
Yeah, attacking him would have been a great life choice.
And he's going to pull out a rapier and just move the rest of the distance to another target and end his turn there.
He's going for speed.
He always does the distance.
All alone.
So now we've got bugbears on the prowl. This one has to use his full movement to get to this guy, but these guys are teaming up on that guy.
I feel like it's not going to go great for number 13. They're going to break those glasses.
Oh no.
My glasses!
Not my kids.
Yeah.
It's not my glasses.
They don't care at all about his glasses.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you, mister?
They
You
would.
hit a guy with glasses. I love Wreck-It Ralph.
That's such a great movie.
Okay, so the first bugbear runs up and he takes a swing at this guy. First strike misses with the Morningstar, but the second one comes up and hits, and this guy actually just crumples. It gets
I'm
up
gonna
in
wreck
his chest and drops him. The other two bugbears, seeing that their friend, Yay, look. Seeing that their friend easily
You just bumped us
killed
up
that
to an M
individual,
rating.
these guys run over, kind of push their friend, and go to attack number 2. That was another poop joke.
They're attacking it? Like,
I didn't say it.
what does that mean?
Okay, the first one runs up and just like totally messes it up. Like his first hit hits the shield and of that military, that infantry guy. But then like not thinking, just like full on rage, he like tries to hit him again in the exact same spot, but the shield's still there and just like doesn't hit him. The other guy sees that he's distracted by that double hit against his shield, and the other guy just pummels him right in the back of the neck with the Morningstar, knocks him out in one hit.
This
Yeah,
guy?
I'm pretty no.
No, that's one of the
So,
bugbears.
I'm pretty glad we didn't fight these guys.
Wait,
Yeah.
Double
the
swordsman.
It would
bugbear?
have been fine.
Hold on.
Sure,
The
they're
bad
one-shotting
guy
everyone,
falls
but
or
not
the
with
bugbear
me.
falls?
The bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been dead.
Can Esteban go now?
Yeah.
Huh?
Esteban wants to have it now that he's seen the employers go.
Cool. So
Yeah.
let me
That's cool.
move you through initiative to now. Okay, so you are up and Vuka's on deck.
Great. I'm gonna cast Chaos Bolt at number 3. So, purple is damage type. So that is force damage. Oh wait, I have to roll a hit.
Yeah.
Whoops, forgot that part. That's 7 plus 5 is a 12.
That just barely hits.
Good. Okay, so that's 15 damage. 15
Yes,
force damage.
the force. So you, what does it look like when you cast this spell? You do another one of those. Okay, cool. Yeah, you do that.
You're just going through all of the gestures that you know. Like,
I've read comics. How power works. No, you launch this like, basically it's like invisible energy until it hits, and it kind of like there's like wisps of like, it almost looks like if you could see wind, it just like rips at this guy and actually like tears him up really bad with magical force, and he drops to the ground in a pile dead.
just like, next one's Leviosa.
Leviosa.
Okay, and did you roll a d20 for wild magic?
Oh, I did not. That's a 3.
Dang, flirting with
Yeah.
that one.
It's getting better though, trending up.
It's going.
Yeah, 2, 3.
Okay,
Lord.
Vuka's up.
Something
Lash is on
random.
deck.
It's wild magic.
I'm gonna get, I guess, within 30 feet of the nearest bad dude. Jesus.
These two are the last ones.
Yeah.
Those two are the last ones?
Two
Yeah.
work.
All right, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna get within 30 feet. I'm gonna get within 60 feet.
We already are. Huh?
I am? Am I?
It's
Actually, it's
close
5.
anyway. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Ice Knife. So I'm gonna make a ranged spell attack. Oh boy. 12.
12 just barely hits.
Okay.
Hey.
Which one are you hitting?
Whichever
Mustache
one.
man.
Whichever one 12 hits.
Let's pick one.
That's the leader.
Yeah, 12 is not gonna hit that.
That's fine because the knife is
It
still
still
gonna
explodes.
explode.
Oh, thanks.
Oh yeah, Sandman.
The one damage I'm not resistant against.
Ice.
Friendly fire.
We just drop some real truth.
Like drop.
That's an inspiration
So they have
level,
to succeed on a dex throw. So
Okay.
make a dex save.
So both of them,
5
everyone
feet.
within 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To 12.
I have no. It's only. It's not dex saves, is it?
It is.
No, his advantage.
Strength.
Yeah.
That's it. So I rolled a 2.
Okay, so
I imagine you will be taking this damage.
the helmet man makes it, but the other guy does not.
Okay. 7 points of damage.
How you doing there?
I'm hurting pretty bad. I'm still alive though.
That's good.
So the one soldier that takes an ice shard straight to the chest just cries out in pain and just grasping at the wound. He looks to be in pretty bad shape.
Does he take half damage if you on the succeeded save or no? No damage.
No, it doesn't say that it does.
Boo.
Yeah. Is it a cantrip or a...
No, it's a spell.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, Vuka?
No.
Alright, lashes up, Tehran's on deck.
Yeah, alright. I'm gonna nimbly dance between these corpses. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to... I mean, their bases don't really make sense, but I'm trying to nestle in between those two guys.
Okay.
Getting all cuddly, huh?
Oh yeah.
Just, trying to make sure I've got attack of opportunities, Anyway, yeah, I'm going to take a swing at Helmet Man.
Helmet man, roll your attack.
That's an 18.
18 hits.
Okay. That's another 5 damage.
Okay, so yeah, you bring down your sword and slash into his back, and he cries out in pain. But this guy looks like he's maybe going to be harder to take down than the rest.
A bit.
He seems to be their captain.
He
And
like
obviously
boss.
captains, just they're stronger than other
Oh,
people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's just how that works.
Alright,
he's
Tehran's
the
up,
boss.
Bernard is on deck.
I want to bring my axe down on his face.
The captain?
Not aiming, just attacking.
Just in general.
Just in general, I want to at him.
Toward the face area.
Toward the
Alright,
face area.
roll that attack.
12.
12 is not going to hit. Yeah, he kind of just steps out of the way of that swing and kind of laughs at
I
it.
got hit pretty hard by that ice. I think that's probably why I missed. I may have deserved it, but I don't think I did that much damage to it.
I mean, you still deserved it.
Alright, anything else, Tehran?
I want to scream in his face and be like, "You're a bitch," and then I'm gonna clutch my wounds because I'm pretty.
Alright, you did that. Good job.
You're a bitch, man.
Bernard is up.
Shoots
Lil,
his arrow wide.
Ooh.
You missed.
Yeah.
Okay. Lil is up,
Oh man.
and the captain is on deck.
God.
Wow. Dice jail.
Rough fight.
Level 1.
So I'm guessing you're
I'm just
arrow
gonna hang
missed.
back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the arrow and think, nah.
Lila's good out here.
We could run.
Okay, so
Oh wait.
That would work so well for this D&D party. If two of us was like, peace.
This is the Adventures of Bernard and Lil, our new spin-off series.
Split the party.
Oh, he's looking at me like we
No.
actually could do that. No.
I mean, you could.
Of course you can.
You can do whatever you want.
Brada's gonna
You would join
smoke
us?
bomb.
Why do you think I delayed my turn?
No,
I wanted
The
to see
four of
who
us just
win.
take off. No, we're always gonna leave you guys in our team.
Yeah.
90 movement a turn?
Yeah.
No, you
No.
don't. It's still
Yeah,
60.
it's still 60. No. We can't run.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
They do have horses. I want to
Yeah.
remind everyone.
They're also. We could take
the
them.
guys that own us
They're
can grab
also
horses.
almost dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so am I. I want to keep putting that out there.
I've got lay on hands, man. If I can actually get adjacent to you, I
should
can
have
heal you.
healing worded you. I didn't even think of it.
No,
I actually wasn't that hurt
hang back.
until you.
I know.
hit me.
Okay,
It
so
sucks that whenever I have protection,
this
everyone
guy is going
runs
to
away
attack,
from me and doesn't stay adjacent.
Tehran.
Oh boy, here it comes.
The 17 hit your armor.
Yes.
All right.
Bye bye, buddy.
He's gonna do
a billion.
6 damage.
Oh, just
Right.
what it needed to be.
Tehran goes down. A heavy sword fall just knocks you to the ground. He turns and he's going to attack the dragon man standing behind him.
That
Does
could have been 5 too.
a 12 hit your armor class?
It does not.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
So run
so
down. Oh, okay.
yeah, he turns and just the strike hits your shield. Does not make purchase. This other guy is going to turn and try to strike you. Does a 9 hit your armor class?
It does not.
All right, yeah, he
Shockingly.
his hit goes wide. You're able to step easily out of the way, and then
I'm doing the Muhammad Ali thing. Hands behind the back, just ducking and
Brada is up. He moves up.
Single-handedly murders everybody.
Right.
He moves up into the fray.
That's not his move. His move is smoke pop away.
So much meta
I
knowledge.
know. I'm not. Look, man. If I was using meta, we would have just murdered him.
Okay.
We probably
so-
would have died in the process.
Oh yeah.
Probably. Hundo %.
Okay, so he does his first short sword attack against the captain.
With his
And-
plus 45 to hit.
His sword is also plus 12.
The captain makes a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, great. Yeah. Awesome. Indie magics.
Okay, so he's gonna do. Okay, so what you see is a quick movement of short sword.
Tell the damage.
Nah. And it makes kind of a small cut in the chest of the captain, but then he kind of like jolts a bit, and he kind of like his arms drop a little as he kind of like wobbles, and then Brada makes a second strike. And this one he actually misses. He goes high and as if he was
Quickly
going
failed.
for the neck, but the kind of like
He's got a plus 19 to hit. So.
yeah. And so the captain he's taken a small hit and seems affected in some way, and that's the end of Brada's turn. And then we've got Bugbear Squad coming up. All of them kind of like jump over corpses and get to these guys and
Kill him.
and go.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay, so
Beat them dead with their dead friends' corpses.
yeah, basically.
Beat them
You
dead.
ever been so mad you hit a guy with another guy?
I was big enough to do that. Yes, I would have done that. Like the Hulk. So
Okay.
serious over here.
So, the two here just slaughter this guy.
Yeah.
Those Morning Stars just come in and wipe him to the ground, and then the
Your
the-
head explode.
The captain seems to be like unresponsive, and so when this last bugbear, when Munch comes up, he brings down the Morning Star hard with like very little defense by the captain, and it goes like super deep into like the back of his shoulders and neck, with the spikes on the edge of that club, and he calls out in pain and just goes down on his knees. He's still conscious, but he's in bad shape. Esteban is up. Fuka's on deck.
Firebolt at the captain.
Okay.
That is a 18.
Hey.
Now it's gonna be the D10. That's 4 damage.
4 damage.
40 damage.
How do you want to
Right?
do this?
Wild
Is there
magic.
an add? Is there, hold on.
That's
let
a
me make sure
cantrip.
it's just yeah.
So, if you're not familiar, oftentimes when you get the killing blow, I'll say how do you want to do it, and you can describe how you kill your enemy.
Shoot. Okay. Hold on, I gotta like figure out where Esteban is because it's been a really hard day. So,
I really need this.
he has like seen like okay, like everyone's down except this captain guy who looks really bad off. So I'm gonna like put all of my like remaining magical emotions into this one shot, and he even like instead of just like forcing the magic out of his hands, he like tries to like force it from his fingertips for like his best proper aim, and like arcs it beautifully, and it lands on like top of the captain's like gorgeous firebolt. Yeah, nothing but that.
Flames pour down his
Yeah.
body and just take it immediately, and he begins to.
Oh, is it fire this time?
Oh, big charge. There's no blood. This is he's bleeding.
That's
already.
fire.
But
There's a
his clothes look like my clothes.
And he just falls.
And you take his hair.
And
That mustache is gone.
There's like glass.
Like Ron
underneath
Swanson
where he
after that
stood.
fireball. At the funeral for little Sebastian.
Yeah, so you guys
Thousand
have
candles in the wind.
killed a small scouting group of our military and are on your way to becoming great outlaws.
All right.
We're traitors.
Uh,
Real quick, real
Yeah.
quick, I hop over here and I just go like, oh, chin up, old chap. And he gains 5 hit points.
So Tehran is back up, and Brada and the bugbears are just kind of like moving around, looking at the corpses, kind of investigating through them. They're getting some of the gold, some random trinkets, and kind of examining the weapons.
Yeah,
they don't
that's
seem
true.
too interested in some of it. And then Brada walks around and tosses each of you a gold coin.
A gold coin.
A gold
11.
coin. Which in in-game currency you know to be about
I
$100.
started with 0, right? Just for.
Where do I add
Where did I
money?
start at?
It's under your equipment, under currency.
You all basically got your currency back from when the bugbears went back and grabbed your belongings.
I just know that you handle gold differently than.
Okay, I'll send
Because I started
out.
with 10 gold.
Yeah, I'll send you guys what you actually have. You all would have started anywhere between like a silver or 5 silver to like 2 or 3, maybe 10 gold at the highest. But depending on your line of work. But yeah, this is a significant amount of money for you guys, especially during war times and after losing.
Getting handed a hundy.
Yep. So anyway, he looks at all you. He says, "Well done. That's impressive."
Thanks, man.
It's like, okay, I need a minute. And just sand comes out. It's just dust
Wait, is it
cloud.
opposite? Is it water when you cough? Like, no, it's straight out of it.
Water makes him cough. When he coughs, it's
He looks at. Did Vuka do magic?
Mhm.
I can't remember. What did you do? You did the ice
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 knife.
knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he looks around at the folks who did magic, and he's like, "Very useful batch this time. Very useful. Quite impressive."
What happened to the last time?
Okay, well.
Luca's gonna go try and take some
Fingers.
parts of the dead.
Take what?
Fingers?
Some body parts.
Like 1 or 2 fingers.
Some finger food for
I want to
later.
go over to Vuka.
Hey!
I want to shove Vuka in the shoulder and be like, I see you got me back, huh?
You saying what?
I see you got me back, huh?
You're gonna do that while I'm biting fingers off of a corpse.
No, before, as you're walking. I wanted to do that before you did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Luca's
Yeah.
just gonna kind of like bare her teeth at you and keep walking.
Fine.
Yeah. I want to look for any like ornamental piece of like armor or some like trinket someone might have been wearing because I like to take trophies.
Investigation.
All right. It's a 0, but I rolled a 19.
Okay. Yeah. You notice a piece that didn't get taken by Brada and the Bugbears. It's like a wrist clasp that almost looks like armor, but it's actually more decorative than anything.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm looking for.
it does have the insignia of the Aran people.
Does Vuka need to roll for fingers?
Yeah, roll me a finger check.
These guys all
What,
have no fingers somehow. It is incredible.
What kind of check am I rolling for fingers here?
Just investigate.
9.
Yeah, you find some pretty like
Some good ones.
middle of the line fingers,
I only bite off the middle finger.
some
Nice.
middle shelf.
Yeah.
and you can add as many fingers as you can find to your inventory.
Ooh.
Up to
It's gonna real grow in
70
like
fingers.
24 hours.
They do have real weight, and you are a small creature, so
She's just
keep in
gonna
mind.
take a couple, but now her mouth and her face is kind of just bloody because she's using her teeth.
Are you still covered in feces?
No, I washed it off with the sewer water. Okay.
Right.
So it's more just like
Yes.
a general glaze of waste. It's not like it's not like a lump of crap. It's
the
just
new
like
When I
It's
told
a
you that
sidecar donor
Vuka was a
there.
little shit, I didn't mean it literally, but now I do.
it's just it's like just a general toilet sauce that you have on you.
On that note,
Okay, Chase suggested, and this is a good idea.
Let
Can
us
we
conclude.
like steal more armory like things like what he took for like disguise purposes later? Or then is it gonna
A lot of this stuff is heavy.
it's all heavy?
Like they're wearing plate armor, but
None of which might fit
Yeah,
a
rogues.
6'5" dragon,
Yeah.
right?
You probably don't want to steal plate armor.
Due
'cause
diligence.
It would make your stealth be at a disadvantage.
yeah, it would
No.
be you would fail your stealth checks more often.
well, I don't think you
and-
can even wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're only good
Well,
at
yeah, it,
medium armor.
it
Well,
depends on.
I was
Your
thinking
strength
more
and your
like
proficiencies. Yeah.
garb. If they're wearing like
Yeah, they have like none of the garbs survived without being like damaged.
Slashed
some,
up and
some of
covered
them
in
are
blood.
like not
Blood
that
soaked.
damaged, but many of them have at least a decent amount of blood on them.
Okay.
And you'd have to undo the plate armor to get to it.
You'd have to undress these corpses.
Actually, undoing plate armor would take like at least
wow.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
okay. Is there anything else on these bodies we're stealing that they didn't already get?
Roll investigation.
Ooh.
What is with my dice? Okay, I got a 2. What's
Yeah.
my
You get a sense that like you could probably get a sock or two. That might be like the easiest thing to go for.
Some shoelaces.
I mean,
well, I
yeah.
have a 4.
But it's a 4. Twice as good as you thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Brada turns to you all and says, "Well, off we go." And he turns and begins to run the same way, and motions for you guys to follow.
Mhm.
Running?
And-
We're running now?
Well,
Just
Wait,
a brisk
can we
jog.
take the horses?
are you asking Brada?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna ask. general.
As he's running off, one of the bugbears actually just like lets out a huge roar, and the horses run off.
Convenient.
So it's a no.
I mean, we could have sold those. It's fine.
Or had them.
Or snacks.
Yeah, why did Chase all
Some horse jerky.
And
Just because I can't.
and that's the end of session 0.
Yay! We didn't die.
Wow.
Close.
I didn't die.
No, yeah.
Hey,
This is true.
Yeah,
Devin, whenever
yeah.
you roll this character, you like get knocked out on the first.
I know.
Almost like it's a sign.
Thanks for watching Dungeons and Dank Memes. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, tell your friends, tell your mom. Unless your mom thinks that Dungeons and Dragons is demon worship, then don't tell your mom. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope you come with us next time.